all hail, Liberia, hail. This glorious land of liberty shall long be ours. Though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. Though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. And mighty be her power, and mighty be her power. 1, 2, 3, 4, in joy and gladness, with our hearts united, we'll shout the freedom of our rights united. Long live Liberia, happy land, this home of glory, liberty of God's command. This home of glory, liberty of God's command. All hail, Liberia, hail. All hail, Liberia, hail. This glorious land of liberty shall long.
Le maître est bien là, petit boulot d'abord. Nous sommes dans la réconciliation, dites-nous. Pour tout le monde, après passer réunis, nous. Après nous, un péché. Pourquoi moi, les uns qui croient que les autres couillent? Ah non, le maître est bien là, cohésion sociale. Et meni, tout en sous, tout en dessous, comment tout en sous. Y'a esse kwe mwen kibo. Di akpaye lutte nou jigbo se a debo. De développement national et de dio. Bébé y'a pas mais a on y peut tout au plus bon et moi. Des méridions si un citoyen publié. On se veut rien serrer nous a au point on peut pas on dit à rien. A au pas plaider à boire moi boire plagier. Ya o bakulu dadwe a bakula tete nyoko iri kwa pie ga yoko ah on pame o nyonu abaye choisi se choix sans on boaga c'est quoi des aboué ah on pame deme o aje di super zero mama se de Teresa zero mama ko Clementina zero mama Benjo Charlotte zero Joe Dimitri, Oka Cynthia, merci maman fan club BBS. Amical des âgés, Chloé Ben, capitaine Tae Mathieu, Boy Daniel, madame Kouakoulidi, Maë Zéphirin, Gré Christophe, Gré Ambroise, Aoussé le même Baye Bouo. Ao Jeunesse, Chico de Zouan, Irmine Taï, Ario Manaja, Amoukasu, Soutien-Gorge, Goudé Juliana, Pata Pata de Zouan, Ao Baye Bouo, Bokera Poissomboé, Commercio Noir, Monsieur Bomaïo, Ao Glokondio, Otaba le même Baye Bideye, Ao Aseo, Ao Boyo. Les dignes filles et fils de la commune de Djiglo, soyez unis et indivisibles pour mieux agir dans le sacré blois. madio, baby es pas mais oh. Tiro d'abord dio, bye ben se verrait pas si beau. Bye ben.
Diaspora informative news platform Liberia Public Radio (LPR) presents Freedom Watch with Alfonso Zinso. On Freedom Watch, we hold national leaders, opposition, and the general public accountable for words by asking tough questions in exchange for real-time answers. No one walks away free by providing false information. If it's from LPR and A Zinso, it got to be good. Be my guest every Sunday live on LPR TV from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV.
Alfonso Zenso for the Liberia Public Radio base in the U.S. I currently visit the entire. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Diaspora informative news platform.
Folks, good evening and welcome. I just feel like going to the southeastern side of Liberia, that is Grangida County. I want to go to my motherland this evening. All right, so welcome. I want Blocku, the guy that called Blocku Samson Brown, to come and show face here this evening. This is how we do it, and he tries to. The old man, he tries to intimidate, but I don't blame him. I blame Nathaniel Cryport that got something to be doing what he's doing. This is the original Kaute. The one that he has is a fake one, all right? We'll soon get the program away, but sometimes we have to bring in the traditions and see how it looks like. No matter where we go, our traditions is very, very much important, right?
C'est à Georges. Nous les basous dans le I got to get those combis.
Canon. De la maman. Yo creo Son Robert. Son Bernadette.
This song is from my neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire by Cro Romain. That's one of my favorite songs, your traditional song here, you know.
Président, Nostan Pascal. You know I listen to Keke Delmas. Zoué Pierre. Aïssia.
It got a very simple and simple meaning. We human beings, we have different types to get good one, bad ones. People are different. You would never know unless when the reality display, and then you say, "Oh, really? I never thought this would have come my way." Right? So his song it is very, very meaningful.
I get a
Well, this is by Cro Romain, the CLAUDEROMY. It's Cro Romain. You'll find it on YouTube. But I'm telling you, this guy is a guy. His songs has a message in it. And no matter where we are, whether we are in America, any part of this world, our traditions must also be at the forbearance of whatever we do, you know.
An end. So
all right, so very shortly we're going to get this program on the way. I just thought that we post some little happening in here. Let me make sure here my microphone is up to date here. Okay, let me make sure my microphone, I think it's sounding good now. Just let me know if it is sounding good. I want to welcome all of my viewers and listeners across the globe. Welcome by one of the strong ladies of all competing with us. Can't get tired in this business. Continue to make her voice to be heard. I'm talking about Yasinita Martin Wade, one of the strong advocates, even though sometimes he has some disagreement on things, but notwithstanding, that's good to welcome Beatrice right there from the Sunshine City. All of my viewers, Rose, quite a long time we haven't seen, Tabayu Smith, and all of the good people. We want to welcome Rose Joy Kamoto. We want to welcome you for tuning in to Vincent. Try to be in Grand Judea this evening. By the way, I'm a son of the late Paramount Chief, and so this old man we brought on this network called Samson Toe. He tries to compete with Alfonso Soto and not cry poor, and then when he's ready, he dress and bring his fake coyote. This is the original coyote from Grand Judea. The man boy on a coyote from this slaughterhouse here. That's why you see it looking so big like that. It doesn't even look real. Well, folks, I want to welcome all of you this evening. As usual, Liberia Public Radio is one of diaspora informative news outlets among many others that discuss issues relative to our country and our neighborhood here. Hopefully, this system is doing all good here from what I'm seeing. But we want to welcome all of you here this evening to this broadcast. Thank you so much for being part of this program, and hopefully it will work in our favor. From what I'm seeing, I'm viewing it here. It doesn't look too good, but hopefully we will manage it. Please let me know if there's anything. Sometimes you see it from your screen, from your microphone, everything looks to be good, but you, the audience, it is very, very much important too that I will provide you with quality services so as to make sure to always form part of what we are doing. I'm Alfonso Ziansot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We will get this program on the way very shortly. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will get this program going in the shortest momentarily. But in the meantime, let's take this quick commercial break, and I will be right back.
Welcome to Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Wood. They are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 6523 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. Musa's store is composed of varieties of African food as well as Americans, but predominantly African food. You have dried fish, you have cassava, you have yams, you have plantains, bananas, and Musa even goes out of his way to pay people extra to cut the potato grains for customers to save them extra time. We have deeper, we have fufu, we have the refrigeration center, then we also have cosmetics. This is a place to come in Philadelphia. If you come to Philly, you don't reach to Uncle Musa's Groceries, you have not made your trip complete. Welcome, and we look forward to seeing you sponsoring our business. Thank you.
This is Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. It's the only store, a grocery store, that deals with African stuff. Anything African things, you get it from Uncle Musa's store. I am from Igbo in Nigeria. So, ndị Igbo dum, onye ọbụla wụ onye Igbo, ya bịara na Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. Ọ ebe ọ ga-enweta anything owu ihe ndị Igbo na-eri.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The business, we have a business on grocery store for African food, all West African food, from Liberia, mostly Liberia food. And we have a palm oil imported from Liberia, and we have a very good customer service. If a customer buy from Uncle Musa Grocery, you get bonus certain times, and things are very reasonable. We have a good palm oil. Anything you want from Africa, West Africa, you can get it from
Okay,
Uncle Musa.
there you have it. Hopefully the mic is
so you
okay.
can visit,
I'll try
and
to
we have
make
a couple
a little
stores in
bit
Philadelphia.
adjustment
We have
here.
one on 6523 Woodland Avenue, and another one is a clothing store on 6519 Woodland Avenue, and we have another one on Upper Darby Gary Road. So you're welcome for shopping. Everything is nice. Customer service perfect. So that's it. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, quickly here, that's one of our sponsors. I'm talking about Uncle Musa. Uncle Musa is one of our sponsors here at the Liberia Public Radio. I just want to acknowledge this gentleman here. He is a Nigerian, but he's one of our listeners here on the Liberia Public Radio follower. He always follow the work of LPR, which is very good, and we want to be very, very much grateful to him. By the way, he reached out to us based on what we're doing here, and he's a Nigerian. Let's try to put a little bit honesty into what we are saying here. He's a Nigerian. He's not forced to do any advertisement with us, folks. Just give me a break a little bit here. He's not forced to do any commercial with us, but in the interest of African solidarity, he reached out and said, hey, what you are doing, you are a Liberian, I'm a Nigerian, we are all Africans, and there's a need that we support one another's initiative. So he reached out. His business is known, is established, is in Philadelphia, but by virtue of his willingness to reach out to say, squash my back and I will squash your back. I think that is commendable. And this has been one of the commercials. There are more to be coming. And so we just want to say a big thank you to Uncle Musa for his patronage to what we are doing. This is a sort of solidarity that we have seen as Liberians and as African. I think it's very, very, very much important. If we are to succeed, if we are to be a vibrant continent, a nation, a country, we must learn in an honest fashion to support one another, not necessarily to tear down. You know, this country, we all have come here, and there's a reason we all have come here. There are a lot, especially Liberia. Nigeria, they have our own, the Biafra War, you know that. Liberia, we have our own 15th desperate civil war. And there's a good side and there's a bad side. But I want to focus on the positive side here, just a little bit. House cleaning house here before we get to our main issue on our discussion here this evening. We left our country. People went to different countries, Africa, to Europe, Asia, to America, and with the hope that the war itself, the good side of it, has exposed us to a lot of things, and we must be able to adapt those things in a positive one, that we can be able to go back home and be able to make a meaningful contribution. Try to change system this evening. I'm not sure what that I know it's kind of it is blurry looking like. What we will manage here. Sometimes the system, that's how it look like. But overall, we have come, and we must be able to learn and be able to get that back to our country in a positive way. Don't get me wrong, for the most part, there will be disagreement. We will not agree on things. But the best civilized and modern way to get things done when there's a disagreement, you have this sort of intellectual engagement, where ideas will be exchanged, where you will be able to persuade me, where I should be able to convince you, not in the kind of cursing or being so mean or using the language uncomfortable. So we are here for so many reasons, and we must be able to kind of build on these things, that when we go back to our country, we will become like a change agent. We will make an impact into the life of the people. But that has not happened. It has not been happening. Then we'll continue to have this sort of conversation here in an honest fashion, and that's one of the reasons we are here. And that's some of the things that we see ourselves. We want to represent the good image of our country, Liberia, and every good thing it must be of our country. So we have to be in that positive direction, and not necessarily to be antagonistic to the government or even, but to all of us. All of us must be held accountable. Being a citizen does not give you a pass that you also should be should disrespect the laws of the land. So whether you agree or disagree with the leaders, leadership is just continue to it. How many presidents we have had? What is our country? We are almost going to 173 birth anniversary. In a couple of weeks, we'll be observing Armed Forces Day. Those are some of the qualities, some of the beauties, and some of the things that accompany democracy in a sovereign nation, where we observe. But at the same time, we in the diaspora, we also have a shared responsibility to make sure that we do the right thing for our country. We must be able to make a meaningful contribution. I'm not sure whether this evening here, the video, whether is from what I'm seeing on the screen here, it's not moving right. But notwithstanding, we are in it. We're just going to focus on the message here this evening, and we are hoping that the message should be the main source of our channel here this evening for us to have this sort of conversation. We're going to switch machine here this evening to give this a test, but it seems to me this one still have to do. They still get a lot to go through. So this comes to the point of all of us here, we are engaged in different things. All of us can say arise. That of course, we must engage in variety of activities, different activities, be a professional or whatever you can do. But the key point here is to be supportive. You don't have to, but if you are not supporting a cause of a person, then you also try to offer good prayers, even though it's difficult. For the most part, we try to tear down one another. If Anthony Gay can get it, why make Francis So can get it? Why Anthony Gay should get it? You know, those sort of behavior, it doesn't help the country. It's not good for our country, and we must be able to change course so that we make sure that we, as a people, as a nation, we will be able to prosper. Because if the nation is to survive, it's just not only contingent on national government. We too have our part to play, and that part is to be honest with ourselves and our country, and to also follow the rule of law. I know people will be out there be saying, but those who even supposed to enforce the law, they are not. Yes, okay, we understand that, but let us just play their part, and they will be held accountable of their own doing. All right. So that's a little bit of housekeeping here this evening. Let's see here. We can have a conversation here as usual. It's gonna be an open mic here, but there are a couple of things developing. You remember on December 19, one of the ladies, Madam Ellen Cockram, as a matter of fact, I think 4-5 years ago. But during those days, there was no live park here, so we used to do this interview. It was like a free conference. I had an opportunity to interview her 5-6 years, I believe. That was during the presidency of Helen Johnson Sirleaf. And when Helen Cochran left Liberia, allegedly accused of over 200 some thousand of dollars. And since then, the government of Liberia has pursued that case, but this lady, she returned recently in Liberia like a hero or like a king. So it's sort of kind of hair scratching. Why? I just don't understand. So there was an edition from Front Page Africa, that was December 11, 2011 edition, that the government of Liberia has dropped all charges against Madam Helen Cockram. And so she arrives in Liberia, reason it in a rare carpet, I would say, in a rare carpet welcome, which was very, very much unusual. And one of the things I hosted the Solicitor General on this network several times, and he has been arguing that his office, the Solicitor General office, is in the process or is on the asset recovery program of millions of dollars of government funds out there to people allegedly to embezzle on an investigations, were indicted. The case is ongoing. Some of them fled the country. What have you? What I do not know for sure, but I could make an educated guess here. I believe Helen Cockram would be no exception to that part. And so that was the argument of Councillor Serena Cephas, who happens to be the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia. I said that. But today, Front Page Africa, February 4th edition, is reporting that the Justice Minister says he's unaware charges against Helen Concord were dropped by the weird administration. So where is this disconnect coming from? So how can this even happen? But at our sister network in Liberia, Front Page Africa, upon her arrival, Front Page Africa had the opportunity to sit down with Madam Helen Cockram, formerly of the former director at the Roberts International Airport, following her arrival, and she was in an exclusive interview with Front Page Africa. Let's give you a taste of what Madam Helen Cockram was saying, and perhaps it will give you an idea as to how when you place your call, or you can make a comment, or express your concern as a Liberian and how you feel this process is playing out. But it is quite okay, let me see here. All right, let me see here. I'm hearing some noise coming from the mixer. Okay, so please let me know if there's any adjustment. Is just better? Let me know. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Okay, let me make a. Just give me a signal if it's okay. give me a signal if the sound is okay. I know I'm getting some little feedback here as well. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Just keep me posted. I will be monitoring. Folks, just bear with us. This thing here is sometimes someday good, someday bad. These are all technical work, and sometimes the way you want it to go, the perfect way you want it to go, believe me or not, it can be sometimes disappointing, but that's part of it. We will never give up. We'll continue to do what we are doing. But let me just play this video by Madam Helen Cockrum in an interview with Front Page Africa recently following her arrival in Liberia. Now, the government of Liberia is saying, the Minister of Justice is saying he is unaware of the charges against Helen Cockrum is dropped. And I can say it for sure, we are hoping we always like to go to the source, or the sources where the news actually comes from. Either Mint or the Liberal Progressive Bloku will be hosting Councillor Serena Seaford. He reached out because we sent a message. Said, what a meaning. You say you are on access, you're talking about millions of dollars, and he was requesting $1 million to go after tens of millions of other dollars out there. And so if you are spending money to go after money, why was somebody who is owing government money, we are not adjudicating her right now, but why can they not go through the process? Whether it was Helen Johnson Sirleaf or Bamangbo or whoever time it is, government is continuity. So then how can, where is coming from now? So there is a disconnect somewhere. So who is this person that dropping these charges? If the Ministry of Justice is now coming out to say they are unaware of charges against Helen Cockrum, that's a serious concern. But we will hold peace until we can hopefully have authorities, the people that are close to this case. Welcome the girl, Lady T from New Jersey, one of our valuable listeners and contributor, Marie Baretu. We want to welcome you here. But I want you to listen to Helen Cockrum herself. And there have been a wild speculations as to maybe she's going to be offered a job. You want to hear it directly from her. But I'm concerned. I am not either saying that her doing, but I remember 6 years plus ago, or 7 years now, I interviewed this lady with Councillor Brown at the time that was in New Atlanta, Georgia, and it was quite fascinating. All right, at that time there was, Facebook Live. We used to do it like on, how you call it, a free conference call. But this lady returned home the last, and most of you saw the images following her return. Somebody allegedly that I took government money, your money, taxpayer money, and was received with an arousing welcome. So it's like anybody can do anything. Anybody can do. Today, when you decide to go and say, let me go butt naked and throw a few dollars out there, people there to grab the drums and the samba. They will welcome you at the Roberts International Airport. Listen to Helen Cockrum, and then I will be able to have a discussion right here this evening. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Uncle P, the man from all of the 15 political subdivisions, welcome. Believe me, you see me, I'm ingrained G-Det America here. Sometimes people can want to go back home, whether you sleep one day to come back, but it's not a little journey. But I just try to put myself in the spirit of being Africans and a Liberian, proud Liberian, for that matter here this evening, because we have one of our old men here who professed to be so young, try to mention with Alfonso so and not cry poor. We will soon suspend him. But let's listen to Ella Cockrum and then we'll have a discussion. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
I am.
Ellen, welcome to Liberia.
Rodney, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Liberia. Thank you so much.
It's been a while since we last spoke. I think the last time we spoke it was back in 2010, 11, around about.
I think we've talked since then, though.
Yeah, I mean face to face.
Oh, face to face. Yes. Yeah, probably
so,
11, 12. Yeah.
Okay. So, you came in town yesterday without a fanfare, and social media is a buzz about why you're back in Liberia.
Okay.
So what's the real story?
The real story is that I am back in Liberia. I enjoyed some potato greens and rice yesterday. Oh, and some roasted fish last night. Had some fried okra and rice earlier today, and looking forward to some dry rice tonight. So enjoying our home cooking and just, you know, even driving back from the airport towards town and looking around, and there was just nothing like home. You know, it still feels the same. It feels wonderful.
Why did it take so long for you to come back home?
Well, I think as most people know, it was only recently, December 9th, so just over a month ago, that at least by God's grace, under the current leadership and the Justice Department that is working under our President Leah, that they were able to properly look at the false allegations that were levied against me by the prior administration, and so upon review of it, found it to have no merit, hence the case was dropped. And so the case being dropped gave me that level of freedom that I think all of us as human beings live for and expect to be part of our basic rights. And so I'm just practicing that now, a few weeks after it's been dropped and coming home. So, yeah.
So, initially when this thing happened with the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, there was indictment, and then you and Judge Johnson. Is he still in the States, or has he left?
I cannot answer that question because I don't know. I would assume he is.
Okay. So, why do you think it took so long for this case to come to where it is now?
I think we are still, for a long time, we have still lived in a country where justice, and not just the justice system, but I would say, you know, even other practices, they're not necessarily administered within the time frame that we would hope, right? But we thank God at least things are moving forward in Liberia. I know we still have a lot of challenges, but we are blessed to be under the leadership of someone who really truly loves the country on so many levels. And so when you have a person who is looking to tackle different sectors within a country, so to be able to have Liberia rise to the top, it also includes the justice system. So even though it may have been the last, I would say, the last 5.5 to 6, well, Ellen was there for 6 years, her second term, and I think this happened right within that first year. So there we had that 5-year span where under her administration, we know we have 3 branches of the government, but at least definitely the judicial branch was unable to practice as a separate entity. And so when you have the executive branch that is dictating to the other branches, then even though certain practices should occur, they don't necessarily occur. But hey, it's never late. I mean, I thank God that I am still above ground to be able to see justice administered, at least in my case. And then more importantly, when I see this, and I think when other Liberians see this, it definitely gives us more hope that this is not only going to happen just for Ellen Corcoran, whether it is being ruled for me or against me, right? In this case, is ruled for me because that was the proper way to do it. But it also tells us that we have a greater chance of seeing justice being administered in the right direction. And we also have the opportunity to see the 3 branches of government operate independently of each other. And that's what our Constitution is built on. So you asked me, why did it take 7 years? Rodney, I think you know why it took 7 years. The first 5.5 or so was under a different administration who actually brought the allegations because of their own, you know, the abuse of Liberia's sovereignty is what I would say.
Right. Now, the timing of your return to Liberia has raised a lot of speculations.
And why is that?
Especially on social media.
Okay.
Some are suggesting that you've returned to become Minister of Defense, Minister, because you have a background in aviation and the Army in the U.S.
Why do
And
we not have a current Minister of Defense?
no, I'm just people just asking. I just want to make sure, you know.
I see.
So, what are you coming for a job, or is it a specific reason that you're back?
Like I said, I enjoyed some potato greens and rice last night. And, I mean, granted, I get potato greens in the U.S., right? But there's nothing like having your own food at home and just your own, the climate, the atmosphere. So why am I coming back home? Because I too am a Liberian, and I'm supposed to come home when I can afford to come home, right? And when I'm able to. And right now I'm able to. So I think it's best that people take out any speculation they may have, because they may be going into a direction that is not even part of the course.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you been in touch with the new government since you got back? Are there plans to meet?
I have not been in touch with the new government since I got back. I got in about just over 24 hours ago. And it was a great reception. I spent a lot of time with the people. I finally got some rest last night, because the night before, just getting ready to get on the flight, I didn't get much sleep, but I was able to sleep.
Why did you decide to do the route of the fanfare? I mean, some people feel like a slap in the face.
To who?
You coming back?
A slap to who?
I mean, like, because the way you left and the way you returned is like people saying, oh, because you coming for a job or whatever, and you came with all this big fanfare, people celebrating you, and some people took offense to that.
Quite frankly, I don't give a rat's behind who took offense to it. And them seeing it, you said, as a slap in the face, or slap to themselves, maybe. If they want to slap themselves, let them go ahead. But that is not my intent. And let me be clear about something too, and I think we're all mature enough to know this, right? If people do not appreciate you and want to get out of their bed and show up, whether to greet you, cook for you, wave at you, they will not do it. I mean, Liberians have their own mind. We are very independent thinkers. And so this is not something that was orchestrated. It was organic. And I appreciate it. I am just so grateful. I am grateful to God first. I'm also grateful to our current leadership, President George Weah, and his administrators. And then I'm also grateful to the people of the community from Margibi, and then I understand people came from Sprigsfield and some other surrounding communities to come out there and just to welcome me. It's only God's doing. So if anyone thinks they'll slap in the face, then hey, then they'll turn around and slap themselves. So
what's next for Ellen Cochran?
About 3 weeks ago, I was talking to a friend of mine who's here. He's like a brother, and he was up in, I think he was in Lofa. He was telling me how he had some bamboo worms. And I was like, what are bamboo worms? And then he explained. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that when I was a child, but I don't remember eating it, but I remember it. So I was like, oh, when I get home, I'm going to look for some of this bamboo worms. Because he said it's really good dry rice, because it's greasy. So I'm looking forward to that too. So, okay. Yeah.
So, there's been this video on social media 2 days now since you returned.
Okay.
There was a ceremony in Ghana. So people are saying that you are not Liberian, you're Ghanaian. Do you explain the connection between you and Ghana?
So you said there was a ceremony in Ghana?
I think you made some donation to some school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's been talk about your nationality, whether you're Liberian or Ghanaian. You just clarify.
Well, I am very proud to say my father was born in Ghana. My mother was born in Liberia, and I was born here in Liberia. So what am I? Hey, I'm a global citizen, a citizen of ECOWAS, West Africa. And yes, I'm very proud of both my Ghanaian and my Liberian heritage, and I would say equally so. So I hold allegiance to both countries, and I hold allegiance as a global citizen. So, yes.
You have a strong background in the U.S. military, Air Force. Should the current government...
Army.
Should the
current... because I'm part of the air sector as an aviator, but Army, right.
Should the current president or government ask you to serve your country, would you accept?
Carefully responding to that, yes, you're right, I do have extensive background as a field grade military officer from the United States and also in aviation. And I know that as our country is rising to the top, yes, we need a lot of people that are coming with vast knowledge that can help the president and the team in building the country, right? So it was part of God's will that that I still have the capability to be able to be an asset to the president and his team. It will be something that I would consider. And I say that with all honesty, and I also must add this, right? When you've come from a place where you had to deal with the type of injustice that I have had to deal with for nearly 7 years, it's very heartbreaking, and it makes you to have second thoughts. But even with that, though, we always have to be resilient, because that's how leaders are born, and that's how we are able to come together as one unit to be able to build the country. So the overall answer is definitely I would consider, but I wanted to just put a little piece of background in there to say and just kind of tell you all about my heart and what I have felt when I went through what I was going through, and to be able to stand here or sit here today and just rise above the occasion. So if I can still add value, I think I need to thank God for that and be able to say that yes.
Do you hold any grudge against any member of the Sirleaf administration or Madam Sirleaf herself?
Earlier, you were saying about people talking about fanfare or something. I said, I don't give a rat's behind. Same thing. I don't give a rat's behind about whoever was in Ellen Johnson's Sirleaf government or any of her people. There is really no reason to hold a grudge against people. They did what they thought they needed to do, whatever their incentives may have been, even if it was just strictly to say, okay, we are in a position of power, and because Liberia is a sovereign nation, we're going to go ahead and abuse that. And that's very faulty, but they have a higher power to report that to and to be accountable for. And as we move forward in building the country, for me to take my energy, Rodney, I'm only 47, and I think I'm a pretty good young-looking 47-year-old woman with strength, vitality, and so forth. And so to extend energy onto people they've probably lived more than half of their lives, or way more than that, and I bet you they have not taken care of themselves the way I, Ellen, have. And so, no, I'm not going to put my energy into that. There are more positive things to do. There are younger people that I need to mentor and be able to extend that energy to where it comes into something positive, as opposed to folks who are way past that time. God be with them.
Any final word for Liberian people? And how long are you in town? How long are you in town for?
I don't know that yet, and I honestly say that because I don't have a return ticket out of Monrovia yet. I will definitely go to Ghana before I return to the U.S., but I don't know when I'll be leaving Liberia. When you ask about final words for the Liberian people, there's really not any final words, because this is a beginning. So maybe any
a new beginning
words?
Is there a new beginning, or?
Maybe that's another way to say it, right? But definitely a beginning. So any beginning words for the Liberian people, I think, yeah, for sure. And I'll say this, that let us all do our best to rise up to the occasion as communities. I don't think we should just expect that we can sit back and complain, the government is
I know this volume is very hard now. Okay, there you have it, folks.
How about each person getting up in the morning?
Very
if you feel like your roads are bad,
and I find the
there should be.
interview
Because I also noticed
this guy from Front Page Africa, the very first exclusive interview of Madam Helen Cockrum following her return to Liberia. If the volume is okay, please just give me a thumbs up. Now you listen to Madam Helen Cockrum, who allegedly the government of Liberia accused of making a fictitious transfer of $269,000 United States dollars. That was during the administration of Helen Johnson Sirleaf. And the issue of Helen Cockrum was really in the news, and that was one of the reasons that even led to this this debacle of his dual citizenship. That when anybody takes something, you in Liberia, you owe an American passport, you would not even return home. That was one of the heated thing. Now that was December 11, right? December 11, 2019. There was a press statement from the ministry that came out from the ministry, allegedly from the Ministry of Justice, that the charges against this lady is dropped. But ironically, today the Ministry of Justice, according to Front Page Africa now, and we managed to reach to Serena C4. Hopefully he will be on this network here tomorrow. Either be making a host or the liberal progressive something to one of the two, one of us will be doing that, depending how it's going to look like. To be hearing from him directly. We are also trying to reach to Madam Cockrum herself to make the news proportionate, and I just only get it from the front page, or talk to our correspondents, or just talk to Serena C4. But it's good to also talk to her directly, because it's quite interesting. This is something all of us must really attach serious concern to make sure why it is. And I do know executive clemency, it is within the purview of the President of the Republic of Liberia. But in most cases, the case will come to either conclusion, either you are convicted, or either sentenced, or whatever type penalty in that entering, be it 1 year, 2 year, is within the President's jurisdiction to say, okay, clemency is granted. Now, if there's any clemency being granted, whatever the case is, I'm quite sure one institutions or one arm of government that should be aware of it, to be on top of it, is the Ministry of Justice of the Republic of Liberia, because it is the Ministry of Justice that prosecute anyone who does wrong, anything when it comes to the government of Liberia. It is the Ministry of Justice that has the legal authority to pursue to do that. But now, the same very people that we are hearing from, now we are getting information now that they have no idea as to whether the charges were dropped. But according to what Front Page is reporting as well, these charges were dropped by a court criminal court C of George Samu is the one that dropped these charges against Helen Cockrum. So usually when there's a case, the government versus someone else, the Ministry of Justice becomes the defense for the government, and they can go and get their own lawyers or whatever the case is. So I assume this case as they are going into full hearing. I'm quite sure the Ministry of Justice will have an idea, and I don't want to preempt here to say it Front Page or Helen Cockrum here. I've not even seen the official letter, but we now know that Criminal Code A, Criminal Code C in Moserado County, under George Samon, Nancy Samon is the one that dropped these charges against Helen Cockrum, who allegedly, according to what Front Page reporting, and she's quite correct. That's almost 7 years ago, and I remember, I think, 5 years ago, I was able to have that interview with her with that of George Brown at the time. They were in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, so 500. No, let me see here. Let me make sure the figure here. This is not a small money we are talking about, folks. So whether they drop the charges or not, I think it's important that all of us, you know, and I know, because this is taxpayer money. This is a tax, 269,000 United States dollars. This transfer was carried out through a firm that is in the USA here. It's under the pretense of providing consultancy. I'm interested in knowing that sort of consultancy, and that transfer was done through First International Bank as a banking institution here in the USA. So now the government is saying, or the Ministry of Justice is saying, because since 7 years ago, she just returning. She was indicted. We did not hear anything as to whether the case was fully concluded on Helen Johnson's leave. And so as long as that case is still on the docket, the equivalent government or prosecutors or to lawyers, defense lawyer at the Ministry of Justice, can go through that. And that's exactly the argument Councillor Serena Sifos, who happens to be the Solicitor General, alluded to on this network here when we hosted him twice, that he was charged, or his office was in pursuit of government assets recovery. Meaning there are a lot of people there who are defrauded the government and they left the country, some of them in the country, some of them are being indicted, and they have millions of dollars out there. People owe the government of Liberia. And that's the case Councillor Serena Sifos is on. And so now the Ministry of Justice, of which Serena Sifos is also part, is now saying, especially under George Weah government, that the government has dropped the charges. And let's assume even they have gone through the hearings and gone through the case, and the judge can decide based on the gravity of the case and the evidences provided. It can be to the descriptions of the judge, whether there was violations or whatever the case is. But I'm quite sure the government of Liberia will be fully cognizant of what is happening. But I'm surprised since. But let's look at the timeline. The charges, when it was reported, charges against her were dropped December 11, and the ministry is coming out to this time here, December 11 of 2019. Today is February what? 4th, 2020. All right. Well, that's a little time because that's it's a high profile case. Now, the Ministry of Justice, they are unaware of this. So then, how can these charges? Was this hearing conducted in a semi-sure without the Ministry of Justice or defense team being present? That's a very serious case. So we're going to be having a take. We're going to be having a short as well, because these are all national issues. These are all national concern. We can't have people just do things out of the way, whether you're in the country or you're out of the country, and just get out of the country. Okay, I'm going to take this X millions of dollars and I'm going to go to Ghana, Nigeria, or Burkina Faso and sit down. I know Liberian people, when they talk something after 2-3 times, they forget. And when I go back, the people will forgive me. Liberia is a Christian country. People can just talk, but nothing stay within our heart. This is how people tried to play on the minds of the government, and this is how the people take us for right, because they create these sort of hypotheses. Okay, yeah, the people will just talk for 1 week. After 1, 2, 3 weeks, the media, it will be disappear. But 269,000 United States dollars. That's not a small amount. And most of you saw the video when this lady arrived. It's almost like Dr. Weah is returning to the country. Or almost like how they call it, save the state or whatever group. Costa was arriving the other day. You saw people, carry bayonet. I will try to get to that video at a different time, but most of you saw that. The images were live. I just could not believe it. Yes, I just could not believe it. So what's really going on? What is happening to the laws of the land? Who is tampering with what? And so how was this lady vindicated in the first place? And it was reported, but I'm anxious to see Councillor Serena Sifos here as well, to tell her exactly the bottom line of this case here, because it's quite interesting. So as usual, when we talk, we also give you the chance. You know the number to call is 682-433-8802. There was an interesting video too that surfaced today from Liberia as well, of one of the controversial, in whatever way, depending who you talk to. Some see him as a tough talking guy. I'm talking about Representative Yeke Colbert. I have called him multiple of times. He agrees sometimes to appear, and sometimes it doesn't play out. Maybe he has not had a chance, but we'll continue to place those calls. But Colbert was in an interview with a local network, People's TV, in Liberia. Recently, Mr. James Goody Flomo, Sonny Goody Flomo, of SPOM FM TV in Liberia, broke the news, the potentially, quote unquote, and he broke the news that Yeke was suspending his activity with the COP, the opposition, and after a week later on, he also came out on his live view to let us know listeners and viewers know that Yeke Kolubat potentially was in the process of joining the CDC. Vidat, welcome, and Madam Westlet from Australia. These are our good followers, and all of you, Julius Banto, Charles Joka, Khaled Toure, and all of you guys here. So, welcome to this talking point. So now, the issue now is Yeke Koluba, is he gradually reaching to that point? But there was an interview today. It was quite fascinating. I saw a different side of Yeke Koluba representative, Yeke Koluba, who sometimes has bullied the media and blast or say whatever, but his tone was somehow moderate. So what is really going on in the politics of Liberia? Let me play this video here, and you will see. And we'll open the phone lines as usual. And like we said, it's an open mic, and then you will give your take both on Helen Cockrum and what you're going to be listening to from the Honorable Yeke Koluba, a lawmaker of Mossoraro County, Republic of Liberia. I'm Afonso Zien, so I will be right back.
Honorable Koluba, can you confirm to us whether you have left the opposition and joined the ruling CDC?
Who gave you that information?
We are asking you, sir. We are hearing rumors.
When you ask him question, you should ask the question with facts. So I think that's.
So we're looking for confirmation now.
What is confirmation?
That is speculation.
When I was joining the opposition, did he ask me for confirmation?
But Representative Koluba, since this morning, you have been hawking members of the CDC, telling your colleagues that you have joined.
They are my colleagues. We are not enemy here. You hold me calling the speaker partisan. You hold me calling the speaker partisan. So if I call
that means the member of your party.
You put a journalist, credible journalist. You pushing me jokers.
I listen to you calling Representative.
I ain't answer the question.
Okay, go ahead, answer the question.
What do you want to say on the side?
You call the speaker partisan, it means that you are a partisan of the CDC.
Maybe he could also be from my party.
Which party?
Maybe he got.
Which party? Which party belong to?
When you ask the question, you ask the question, you ask the question.
Which party? Which party?
No, you take your own time. Don't be interrupt.
Which party?
The information you want, you will get. When you take your own time, you will get it.
Which party are you now?
Look, I am from the party that I am from.
What party? Which party?
You know the party?
No.
Have I declared with any party sense?
You are a member of the ANC.
Oh, you see, you're a smart journalist.
Do you have intention of going to the CDC?
I get intention to go anywhere. Do I need your permission to go
Specifically,
to anywhere? I could go to the Unity Party.
Specifically, do you intend to
I could go to the Unity Party. I could go to Prince Johnson, my in-law party, and go to anywhere.
When you choose to go to the CDC,
I choose to go to the CDC. That is why you.
Poverty
could be my partisan.
Does that suggest
you have to be partisan before you place on committee here?
Yeah, obviously. You resign your committee.
For the very first time. This is the DSC for the very first time you will yes, the very first time for my communication to be accepted. Since I came to the capital building, the very first time for my communication to be there on the floor was this year. That's so. So if I'm placed on committee this year, what's wrong with it?
So what problem are you calling Representative Lion for your former partisan?
I never said former partisan.
You said
I said chairman. You see, General, let me tell you something. What you want to hear, you will hear it. When you watch, you will not hear what you want to hear. You gotta be very mindful and take your own.
Meaning that this is in the working. It's going to come about.
Anything is in the working. I could work on fabric, also in the working for the work of fabric.
You can't leave me the COP.
Does it suggest that you want to support the CDC? You have to be critical on we are government.
I can support anybody.
You call it for 24 years for the CDC government.
I don't need your endorsement to support who I want to support.
So what do you make of the president's State of the Nation address? You've not spoken to it since.
I'm going to speak with that.
So what do you think of it?
I'm doing some project in my district. We're trying to link 4 communities right now. As soon as I finish, when I'm dedicating my project, then what you want to hear, you will hear it.
Are you being pushed to join the CDC?
Maybe I'll be joining CDC as a plan to join.
Are you being pushed to join the CDC?
Maybe
the few times you've been talking about CDC so much.
You've been quiet on the presidency. Very quiet. That suggests
you want me to answer your question? You want me to answer it? So I will be very biased about answering. Go ahead with your question.
I'm saying the few times you've been very, composed on the issue of the CDC. Is that you opting for 24 years for the CDC. Have you been coerced to join the CDC?
Look, let me say what I want to say to you. I will talk when I'm supposed to talk. You will not push me to talk. You have not been putting finger in my throat to talk, so you will not do it.
Okay.
Let me say, anything is possible in politics.
On the dedication of your project, will you be inviting the president?
Anything is possible in politics.
So that means President Weah will be on the dedication.
Anything is possible. I will be inviting you too. Not because your beard long, I will be inviting you. But I said, wait and see if I will join the CDC. You will see on the delegation day. What have you committed crime to join CDC?
You said you will be working the president that day. That's what you said. You said you'll be working the president.
It is bad to hold the president. And the president must have shown hand. That's all.
This is a change. Yaka Koluba. A matter of force. Yaka Koluba.
So I'll be a force in the country, right? So I'll be a force. No, I want you to agree. I'll be a force in the country, right?
Yeah, but it seems like now you are changing now.
Changing to what?
Changing to
CDC. No. We're not discussing the COP. If I will remain the COP, you will hear it from the day I'll be delegating. The day I'll be delegating, 2 projects will be one of the day that I will speak to the.
As far as you are concerned, you are suspended in membership.
But they not do it in secret. I'll go to communication.
Did you need to do that when you were joining the COP? Did you any form of communication that you need to do the COP?
I thought you were chatting about it.
Did you need to do that regular communication suspending your membership?
No, I need to be on record. I need to be on record. Maybe I will stay in COP or maybe I will leave.
You suppose that the MPP is the Mario of the CDC. It's not clear indication that you are allowed to go by.
Look, everything is possible in politics.
So you're going back to the MPP?
Everything is possible in politics. When we're leaving the MPP, I didn't ask you for permission to leave. When we're going to the ANC, I didn't ask you for permission to join ANC. If I want to leave ANC, I will leave. If I want to go back to MPP, I will go there. I don't need you to.
We get the details when you dedicate your project.
Very well. You get this start now.
Your recent pronouncement doesn't speak volume to the fact that pronouncement. I will join the CDC, hawking some seditions. Doesn't speak to the fact that when you have been saying that in the corridors.
Which one?
When you been saying in the chamber this morning that you are now a member of the CDC.
When I come to session, I should go to my police.
What I'm asking
are you joking?
Does it play this?
Do I know that on labor? I can joke.
You said everything is possible.
Why you complaining, Eric?
My question is, your recent pronouncement, does it mean that you are not then getting support from members from the opposition bloc? So you want to now, rub shoulders with people on the road?
Don't jump the gun. Why do you I will be leaving from here sometime next week or week after this for my medical. When I come back, I will speak to the LIBERIA.
On the call about you, for the first time you said long live the speaker. What does it suggest?
Long live the speaker because I wanted to appreciate him for the first time in history. For reading, for my communication to surface on the floor of the legislature.
What communication about?
The communication was about what's the issue? The issue with police coming on the Capitol building ground, police constant harassment to the citizens, brutal harassment to the citizens.
You still want to get back at Patrick Sulu for what he did to you?
I want to get
allegedly planted a gun in your car. Allegedly
planted a gun in my car.
That was why you were accused.
That's the reason why armed robbery is not stopping because Patrick Sulu is the most senior armed robber in this country.
You call the police director?
Yes, he is.
An armed robber?
Yes. Can you prove that? They prove that he planted a gun in my car.
Allegedly, no.
But what you call allegedly? That's something that you didn't see. You see? That's something that you didn't see.
What is the start of that case?
Patrick Sulu is the biggest armed robber ever in the history of the world. He facilitated all the armed robberies. In fact, he gave gun to people to carry arms.
So what is the start of that case?
The case is on. The case is on. The justice minister, I don't know where he's speaking from. That man is being pushed. Your labor, I don't dignify labor.
Like you are almost like being pushed to join the CDC.
Are you returning to it?
It is because of the case you intend to join the CDC.
Why join CDC that crime?
Okay,
you think that
you're allowing with the CDC to make
Honorable Columbine, can you confirm to us whether you have left the opposition and joined the ruling CDC? Who gave you that information? We are asking you, sir. We are hearing rumors. James when you ask him question, you should ask the question twice. So I think that's. So we're looking for confirmation now. What is confirmation? That is speculation. While we're joining the opposition, did you ask me for confirmation?
But Representative Okoraba, since this morning, you have been hawking members of the CDC, telling your colleagues that you have joined.
They are my colleagues. We are not enemy here. You hold me calling the speaker policy. You hold me calling the speaker policy. So that means the member of your party. You are journalists, credible journalists. You pushing me jokers.
I listen to you calling Representative.
I didn't answer the question.
Okay, go ahead, answer the question.
What do you want to say?
There you have it. A lot going on in our country. It's unbelievable. Okay. Oh my goodness. There you have it. That's Honorable Yeket Kolubat today in this another bizarre interview. All right. So you listen to the Helen Cochran scenario and that of one of the controversial figure lawmaker ever in the history of our country. I don't take it. That's my own makeup here. Honorable Yeke Koluba that today speaking to the media. But I think our guys, they were so disorganized you can't get the substance of what things they're supposed to really get, because they were feeding in at the same time trying to ask the questions. Instead of asking sort of open-ended questions, they were just asking questions that would just play into the hands of Yeket Koluba. But they were quite interesting. There was a little things that I picked up from that. Is it a crime that I joined CDC? That's not the tone of Yeket Koluba that I know from time to time. I really hoping, and I will keep trying. Most we could talk, but he has not made himself available to appear here because we feel there are a lot we have to talk about. So does that mean the recent news that was broken by Mr. James Goody Flomot of the Spont FM TV that Yeke Koluba is nearing or potentially will be crossing over to CDC? And he quite correct. The game of politics is not stagnant. Anything can happen. And we have seen that it happen over and over. The circulations, the reversion, the back and forth of these politicians from Unity Party. When they are in power, they throw them, they jump over to CDC. The day CDC leave, and other party come, they will go over from India. The history of that is chronological to you. We have seen it from time to time. So he's quite and absolutely correct on that part that in politics, anything can happen. So that brings to mind the million-dollar questions. Those that are even in the advocacy community. Is the oppositions in Liberia or the oppositions, even the pressure group, how authentic these people are? Or are they there on an interim business? Let's pick up phone call here to have this conversation in a fascinating one. Quarter, good evening. Hello? Let me see. Caller, are you there? Yeah, hold on. Let me see. Are you hearing me? Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of things that are going on in Liberia. It just made me sick and weak about my own country.
And why are you weak?
Sometimes I regret why I was even born in that place.
No, I don't want you to say that. Come on.
Because you see what's going on with Serena Cephas. I don't know whether he want to become a justice minister or what. All that thing about Ellen is from Serena Cephas. And you see Serena Cephas, the governing commission of Liberia.
No, hold on 1 second. Are you saying the dropping of the charges? You say from Serena Cephas?
From Serena Cephas, he engineered the whole thing.
How do you know?
Because you see the justice minister who was a counselor for the lady, say he don't even know that charges were dropped against the woman. Why he Serena Cephas no charges were dropped?
No, that's not what Serena Cephas said. Serena Sifa is the one that is saying as a Solicitor General, because I hosted him here, and he said millions of dollars out there. He's on the mission for assets recovery of government funds, allegedly people are accused, and according to what front pages. But in fact, he did call us here today. Like I said, he's going to be appearing on this network here. Either I will be hosting or something told that the government or his office is not aware. So where do you get your information from?
This is the man. If you look into that whole thing, I'm telling you, you will not believe what I'm telling you. When you come on your program asking about the Nigerian criminal, he recommended Joe Yah to be here.
No, that's a different. Hold on.
No. When that
hold on. Let's do it systematically. Yeah, but that would do when we resolve one thing. We can't keep the audience. I understand it's an open mic. But we're on the issue of Cochran. You said you feel sick, you're going to be a Liberian. I said, no, be a Liberian, we can fix it. And you came out to be very deliberate that is Serena Sifa's doing. I will resolve that.
I'm telling you, what is the Solicitor General doing? Are they asking the lady question what passport she traveled to Liberia? American passport, Ghanaian passport, or US passport? They're not telling her nothing. Only Coast Guard passport they're looking for. What passport? Because she's an American citizen, she's a Ghanaian citizen, and she's a Liberian citizen. I don't know. Ghana do dual citizen, America do dual citizen.
Yeah, but my dear brother, in as much as an open mic here, we have to go to chronological so that the people that are understanding, we're talking about Cochran. We're talking about Henry Costa, passport coming, and it like
no, I just saying the Serena for his attitude. His attitude. You would try to believe Serena is not a good human being.
No, I'm not a one to judge that, and this is why when these things happen, we always open up to talk to these people, and then you, the audience or the public, to decide. I can't come here and say he's good or he's not good. One good thing that I can say, he's one of the government officials among few that I don't care how tough it is, and I can say he's always night day. He's always willing to provide explanation. Is the explanation is his position authentic or not? That's not what I know.
Saying he been collecting government money from people that who collect, he not tell you how much he not collect. And who all the people he collected the money from?
Well, if I have the opportunity, they will have the opportunity again. Those questions were asked. But what I can remember, he's saying that he need almost millions of dollars, and we asked us how much you going to collect that you need millions. The government is looking for money, and so how much you going after? And he was talking about over 4 million is out there to go get. So now the question becomes, and I have interest in knowing much further whether the access to the recovery process. What are the $269,000 of Helen Cochran allegedly from the Roberts International Airport is part of that? Those are the kind of questions I'm going to be asking. But hold on 1 second. Let me see. I have a few people here. Don't go. You will still talk. The man from the 15th county.
How are you, sir?
Uncle P.
Yeah, how are you? This is Uncle P.
Yeah.
The man from all the counties.
All the county. I don't know whether you get superintendent in no county or city mayor, then you need to go on the ground because you can't be here and be operating all the 15 counties. It's very difficult.
Well, this is why I always speaking for my counties. This is why I speak continuously and advise. But when I do that, people get confused. They say whether they try to put me in different positions, but they know as the man from all the counties, I have to believe in what they call neutrality. I have to be neutral and just speak.
Okay, let's see whether that neutrality will kicks in yet. And Pa Joy should welcome. I always like to get you guys here. So, Uncle P, let's do a step by step here, and then you can enjoy any other thing outside of the conversation here. Helen Cochran, you listened to her interview, right?
Yeah.
The position now of the GOL, the government of Liberia, the Ministry of Justice, are saying they are unaware of charges being dropped against this lady. However, front page is also reporting that a criminal code C of George Nancy Samon is the one that dropped these charges. But usually, and I know, where there's government versus person, the government or the Ministry of Justice will be fully represented. So how was this case, how was this lady vindicated, if that is the case. I have not even seen the official court document to that, but just based on the limited information that we heard from the December 11th edition 2009, that charges against Helen Cockrum were dropped. And when you listen to her interview, her posture, her facial expressions, and the guy, the interviewer, he did a good job. That was a friendly interview because he wanted to get something out of the lady. What do you make of that?
Well, to be frank with you, my brother, I do not know this lady, Cockrum. I'm naive about her case. I'm not okay wrong with her case. But let me just say this. You see, the government, there is a need for them to be very cautious and speak as a government. Because these kind of things, they keep doing these type of things, they will keep away investors, they will keep away foreigners, because they will know that there is a big discrepancy within our justice system. Like I say, I'm naive about her case. I don't know her. I've been on Liberia almost 20 some odd years now. But let me just say this. If there's one section or the Justice Ministry, they come up and make an announcement that the woman is free, they have dropped the case against her, she arrived in the country, or in the Sodom, they come back again, they say they're going to charge her with the same crime that they announced, that they say she was free. Then another section, another court is saying that they're the one who's made a pronouncement and not enough on the government. All of with these type of discrepancies within our justice system, it portrays a bad image for our country. That's all I got to say. If this lady, if they drop the charges and depending on give her the assurance to come back to the country, I don't think there is no need for them to talk about the charges were never dropped. So they just did it as a strategy to make her come back to the country. Then they rearrest her or put the charges on her. It's not a good image for our country at all.
Okay, Ty, for me, I just don't want to jump the gun yet. Who gave that authority yet? And I'm hoping Serena Seaforth will come with us all of you tough questions. So hold on, Uncle P, don't go away. The county issue, most of rather, is still unresolved, so don't go. Let me bring in Pa George. Pa George, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
How you doing?
Good. Okay. Yeah. So you listened to Helen Cockrum interview, correct?
Yeah, I listened with Rani.
Yeah, yeah, and that of all of the information is coming. What is the confusing part here that I'm not getting? Perhaps you want to make me to understand.
Is the confusing part is with the government. The Minister of Justice, they are not aware. And then who represented the government in court to drop the charges? Because there are two things. Either the government went to court and could not prove her case.
Right.
Then the judge ruled. Or the government asked the court to drop the charges because they don't have sufficient evidence to prosecute that individual. Those are the scenarios that will happen. So we want to know who are representing the government at
the time
in court.
There you go.
So this is the core issue. I was in Liberia 2017 when that case started.
Right.
When
I interviewed the woman very early when she came to the state, and with her by Brown. That I can remember very well. But that time there was no live Facebook view. We used to do it on the teleconference and all of that extensive one. I wish I had that recording. Still had access to that dropbacks.
But so now yesterday I listened to her interview. What I deduced from that interview yesterday, somehow her up hand is involved. Once you are asked if the government will offer her a job, and the way she answered the question,
right,
it left me with something. Look, I came to the conclusion that hey, the government somehow sent for the woman, because portion if you look at it, you will see that she was taking shot or jazz at Ellen. This that interview, you see it. At a certain point, that she was taking jazz at Ellen then when the guy asked her. But this woman was the same person that said with Bernie Samokar when she did that recording And you go hear Bernie Sanders say, don't forget about me.
Right.
I said, I was in Monrovia. And Bernie Sanders went on the air to say he take full responsibility for what happened. But as the thing going in Liberia, nothing happened. And he was the one that understood that brought the woman to Liberia, that introduced her to Ellen, what have you. And Roma had in Liberia that there was some personal friendship or whatever. They had other one. But for this woman, Mr. Soul, left the country, was smuggled out of the country by Chris Massacre.
Yes.
And to be returning.
You saw the images, her return. It was not hidden.
Yeah, yes. That kind of harassing welcome. Who hand behind it? That would make us so brave. Enter with that kind of welcoming ceremony.
You know, it's almost when you want to do a parallel or draw some sort of a thing here, and it's almost like I know they are unrelated here, but sometimes the actions of the government, they're acting slow, and I know these things are very volatile issues. They have to build their case, but sometimes you have to really jump on them. Now, it was December 11th when it was reported. I want to find out whether media colleagues make a follow-up with the ministry of the relevant agency as to whether these charges were dropped against her. That's another thing, and that's some the sickening thing of some of our colleagues, their inability to follow, lead to bring details of the information. And today is the 4th, right? And now the government is saying, Ministry of Justice is saying they are unaware. So it almost like in the case of, okay, Henry Costa went the other day, right? He stays in the country 2 weeks, 3 weeks. He leaving and they say, we want to get this. So where were they? It almost brings back to the point, Yuji Fagon were also saying that when this guy was insulting the vice president, they are not aware, nobody knows, nobody laid any complaint. So I'm curious to hear what Serena Cephas, I want to know the date, where this hearing, what that government, like you rightfully said, what that government was represented, and whether this lady was vindicated. Those are questions we want to know. If that's not the case, then why up to this time they lady being there for more than something? Why now?
But Mr. Soul, is the thing that will puzzle everybody. Serena Silva is the Solicitor General of Liberia. He is the one that brings charges. He is the one that asks the court to drag charges against people. That's his job. The Solicitor General. That's his job. And if the lawyer which part of the Minister of Justice that the lawyer went to court to represent the Republic of Liberia, who is that lawyer? And who assigned him? Who authorized him? That the judge will come up with that decision. These are questions, Mr. Soul, that every day we talk, but they say we don't like we are government. But decisions are taken. It leaves you in limbo to wonder the country that we have, the country that we love so much, what is happening. But let me just make another reference to you. Look at maybe the Crane case. The Crane case that they were prosecuting Crane for printing excess money.
Right.
I don't know whether you listened to this to that Richardson this morning. They were reading the document from the court. It's the same thing like this Ellen Woman case again.
So why cases are not fully concluded in they keep parting after 2 years, 3 years, and it comes back.
This one, Mr. So, they communicate from the court that even the one further that they said the court should scrap the case that it never existed before.
Wow.
So this is the country that we're talking about. And we say we want to fight corruption. Our president spoke the other day again, talking about fighting corruption. But it comes to the point, Mr. So, and I hope the SG will be on your program, but he himself has some questionable character.
The people who try to fight corruption corrupt. How can they fight corruption?
You read something. You even read front page. So why that man not supposed to be supposed to journal first page according to front page?
Why you telling cat to my mouse
So
not to steal, not to take something? Hold on, don't go away. Let me bring in the 6. Let me read the 612 number. 6123168. That Terry?
Yeah, Terry.
Terry, how are you? So, okay, so this problem, by every day we try to see whether they can be reduced, but it seems to be they are on the rise. The velocities of these problems is on the rise so badly here. Here we are again. Helen Cochran, one time 7 years ago, disappeared. She surfaced. She was like even the days or Dr. Weah arriving from out of the country or doing the protests and all of that. And we wanted to go to Mr. Colabar, Representative Colabar interview. But hey, what's going through your head? See what is unfolding right now. The Ministry of Justice is unaware. At the same time, charges were reported, charges were dropped against her, and you listen to that interview. What is the striking thing there?
So it just show you and I that.
Just if you can speak louder a little bit, Terry, just to do your voice.
Yeah, you getting me now?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, I'm trying to say that just what you see is how Liberia will be. That is how Liberia will be for the next couple of years. You know, where everybody, the rule of law will not be respected because we have a leader that does not understand the modus operandi of governance. You understand? So these are the reasons why these kind of things are happening.
Is it fair to throw this kitchen sink on the President of the Republic of Liberia?
Yeah, he's the nuclear. He's the one that influences all these things. And you and I know exactly that. All right? Ellen Cochran is not just going to, charges will not just be dropped, especially of crimes that she committed, such and such a
$296,000. That's not an easy thing.
So those kind of charges will not just be dropped without any influence from higher up. And you and I know exactly that. So, and nothing's going to come out of it. Nothing's going to really come out of it. It's just going to remain hanky. Because there are too much protocols being broken. There are too much of the laws in our country right now that is not respected. All right, many things happening that is not supposed to happen because the leadership we have does not understand how government is supposed to run. In fact, they don't even care. All right, so these are the things. But I really want to look at the issue of Yeke Colabar.
Okay.
Showing up in a way he did. Because for Ellen Cochran, who I know exactly, Ellen Cochran, I think she's a physician. So obviously, that case is not going anywhere. Yeah,
Ooh.
But looking
I imagine know that she's a CDC. You're too young for the trouble. So, I know they are the big elephant in the room. Okay, so okay, you saw Honorable Colabar's interview today on People's TV.
Yeah, Ken Colabar, is the one that is the breaking news. I think that we really need to discuss because looking at the past time, his position was very clear, and he became a formidable force against the government when it comes to criticism and all of that. So for me, for the international community to see him coming up now in support, it shows some level of.
So hold on, are you saying in support of what?
In support of the government, in support of CDC.
Is that how you view? Is that how you viewed Honorable Colabar's position now?
So, yeah, the man said it. The man said it when he was being interviewed on the interview from where I watched.
Yeah, he just said it. Yeah, he said he's not enemy to anybody, even though I know in the past he has made a lot of ridiculous pronouncements. And this is what we see in politicians and all of they are just politicians. And it was quite interesting to say, you know what, anything can happen. Say what, it reminds me of that song. Say what, anything can happen. So now, I'm anxious to see.
The man admitted that he called the speaker partisan. All right. So once you tell a man you are a party,
but he gave, fair
what
to
does that
mention, he
mean?
gives justification for a reason calling this. I was a little bit frustrated of some of our colleagues because the way they was all pouring and they were asking questions, the way, I mean, it makes people couldn't really get a sense of what the inner part of Yeke Kolobas. Oh, Yeke just use his manure tractor and you got the other man, but you call him man, he say, oh yeah, but that the first time they recognized my question, that the first time they read my suggestions. So, you know, so he quickly pivoted into a different direction. Go ahead before I bring in the Australia guy.
Yeah, but Mr. So the man has said it that he can call one way or the other that one way or the other he is aligning. He's aligning with the CDC. So it's clear, and he said he's going to give a statement. But what I want to look at is that I want to believe that something really is hitting that transpired in the COP that really need to come up. There is some kind of a hitting unexposed,
Terry, you know, I know the COPO, the WPO, the IC, all of them, these people, all of them have problems. But hold on, their own one, Flomo say when a boss will always smell it. So that just, hold on, let me bring this caller here from Australia and then I will come to you guys. Australia, are you there? Or Euro, is that a Euro?
Yeah, good morning, brother.
Good morning.
Sir.
Good, how are you? Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, I'm Bernard. I just want to provide a clarity, please.
Okay, on what?
You see, about the Cockrum and this
Helen Cockrum?
C4 guy.
Okay.
Yeah, and Serena Cooper. A few years back, I remember Serena Cooper, C4 rather, was a lawyer for Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
And then another time, I remember there was a diamond, some people were duped about huge amount of diamond, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was a lawyer again for these criminals, those that dupe the people. I think he was involved. And they said they were going to do an investigation, being that he was the lawyer, the whole thing get died down. And today, he's suffering again with the CDC government. Now, this lady in question, the Helen Cockrum lady, I watched a video in one of the districts in Ghana. And they presented her. It was good that they never spoke their language. They spoke English. They said there's a lady, Helen Cockrum, and they call another name Kwame or something like that. And then she left from Ghana and she been in the United States for 20 years, flying American. She was a pilot. And then she came back and are coaching the people to contribute to her village by erecting a school there. And the students.
You say in Ghana?
In Ghana. The video, I don't know, I share it on my page. I saw the video live.
I hope to get a hold of that video.
Lady. So I want to know, I don't know a little bit, what this lady here, is she a Ghanaian? And then she, Ellen Johnson, Carol, why should Ellen Carol Ghanaian to that?
Okay, Mr. Bernard, Mr. Bernard, is the deal. In the interview with the front page, she admitted clearly that her father is a Ghanaian and the mother is a Liberian.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I haven't listened to that part. But if that's the case, after 20 years, right, she been flying a plane, she was been a pilot in the United States, flying airplane or jet plane or how you may call it. Why she never brought such a development in her father's home, like Liberia to build a big school out there, like what she did in Ghana?
Well,
you see, brother, so our people, they need to be serious. Okay, if the charges were dropped from and the government had dropped, I don't know about the charges dropping or whatsoever, but my concern is this Serena Cooper guy, he been involved in a criminal act that was a diamond. Some American people were duped. I don't know, the diamond came from Sierra Leone or some. I know some of your
he's the good thing about him, he's an international lawyer. Remember, CFOS was the legal counsel to Henry Costa during the case with Costa and Helen Johnson Sirleaf. So he's another snake in the grass.
Oh man, yeah. So that's why I just wanted to provide that clarity. And that lady, I've maintained that the video, I saw it live and clear. If I search my page, maybe I can get it there. Maybe I can make a forward to you.
Yeah, I will try to search.
I
will try to search that because that's a good piece of puzzle of information. Because we ourselves, we are making effort in any way possible to host all yet, and I also hear from. We just don't want to dwell on where coming from print media and other institutions and draw the conclusion. That's why we are hoping tomorrow, Serena Cephas, who is the Solicitor General in charge to in government assets recovery to say this thing here. Okay, so let me go back to 107 number. Let's talk about Representative Yeket Koluba. If we are on a supposition, second specting now, we just do not know yet. Koluba said after his medical attention in a couple of weeks, the information, the news that we are looking for, we will get it. Let's get advance at Koluba and see whether we able to make a prediction, and I see it created two scenarios. If and only if. Let me go to 717-2909. If Koluba decides to join the ruling party, CDC, what next and what would then happen to the Council of Patriots? To be honest, Koluba has been very forceful, vocal, very vocal, and he's physically on the ground. If things change around, most likely the symptoms we are seeing now, the probability is there. In Koluba's world, anything can happen.
Yeah, Koluba joined the CDC. This is what I think is going to happen. He's going to lose popularity. He's going to lose respect for his district. Because this is somebody you'll be considering an armed robbery or something there. But National Koluba is.
Why would he lose? Why would he lose respect?
Because it's somebody you call real criminal, or they want to let you go into the criminal. Then you are saying criminal. Okay. If you call in the group criminal on serious person, on this one football person, but this one, then tell me you go join his party. How they will consider you?
Well, he said, you remember when I asked him, he said he shook him, even though I can remember in other numerous interviews. Yeah, I know. I mean, I said in numerous interviews, he's the same guy said, we're shaking our hand, but I was not serious. You were looking one play and I was looking one play. And the pictures truly indicate that handshake, it was not in a solidarity move. It was not a handshake to say, okay, we want to solidify, we want to unify. Yeah, it was just a complete charade, and the cameras are focused on them. So, like you say, if he did that, you see that as damaging to his political career? You think so?
Yeah, it will be damaging. Okay, in case they go for convention, he lose a position as on oral as representative. So what's going to happen?
He can go for, if he lose convention, he can go as independent. I can tell you, my dear brother, every devil get follower in our country there.
Yeah, then like you're going to lose his popularity right there.
Well, that I can't say. I'm not a one to really.
It happened before. If you want to be who you want to be. But if we start get a lot of these jokers and plenty immoral as they are,
okay.
Liberia is not going nowhere. Like example, I told you when Serena Cephas come, please asking the question if I'll not be on show. The LACC, the governing, the president for the good government in Liberia, that Nigerian guy, what they put there is not that Nigerian. What they put there, you got a criminal record, and this is the same Serena Cephas that recommend this guy to wear.
So why were you think the man get a criminal record and not to do it? Okay, that's a different
boy game.
Yeah.
And the man get cases to the court. He also steal the Nigerian money.
Yeah. Okay. You know, sometimes. Yeah, I understand. But sometimes we hear a little more of these things and emotions and things drive out. For me, I always like to get to the bottom line. But hold on one second. Let me go to the man from the 15th county, Uncle P.
Yeah.
You saw Honorable Koluba's interview with People's TV?
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
My brother, Yeke is gone.
He what? He gone? Where he going right now?
Yeke is going to a different direction. You can tell. Look, let us not beat around the bush. This is a man, I've never met Yeke Koluba in person, but from his utterances, it's just like I've met him in person. I listen to this man all the time on Facebook. He's very vocal, and he speaks with authority. He's very authoritative. He speaks with vitality, and I've listened to him so many times. And when I listen to Yeke Koloba today, it's a different Yeke Koloba. When I listen to that interview, as a matter of fact, I listen to it when you play it. Mm-hmm. And let me just tell you this: Yeke Koloba is having a different sense of direction right now. And his direction right now.
Does it matter for us to also go further to dig inside the decisions? He has not made that decision. As he said, in a couple of weeks after his treatment. Does it matter for us to go deeper the decision-making process as to how he come into this conclusion? Does it matter, or we just look on one side of the world and then we say,
let me tell you this.
Judgment?
The decision is already made by Yeke Koloba, but he's being performed. He's being
he's still unsteadied as to whether he should make that pronouncement or something.
He has made a decision, but people are trying to make him contradict his own decision. So that
does he look like somebody that people can tell him say do something, he do it so easily? You sure?
But the Yeke I heard today, my brother, is a different Yeke.
Well, but the man said, Uncle P, let me go to Pa George here. He said, I'm changed. I'm going to play that video again for those who have not seen it. But
I heard him.
People can change. So, I want people to change in Liberia. Yeke say he's changing.
Oh yes.
All right.
With me, I don't have it against him, but my point here is Yeke, that's a different Yeke Koloba.
I can't wait to host Yeke. I don't know why when people call them, they don't like to come. And that's one of the good things.
That's a different Yeke Koloba.
So, Pa Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, Uncle P said a man from all of the 15 counties, maybe some of his representatives and commissioners or district leaders in Mosorado have already given you a hint. Do you think Yeke is gone based on what we are hearing from him and in that press conference today, that little press briefing? Do you think he's gone?
No, let me tell you. When James Goodeflomo posted that Yeke was going to CDC, I immediately rang somebody who is very close to Yeke. Very close. I called him and I said, hey, what's going on? He said, well, so. He said,
but why is the matter when even joins, does it matter when he joins CDC? CDC is a party. It's a party in Liberia.
Yeah. But just to confirm, because some of our political junkies want to find out, want to get the news, when people talk, we want to know, and sometimes we know some of these people who are very close to them. So I rang the person up. I said, what's happening? He said, so. He said, oh, forget it. You cannot go anywhere. So, but this source, if tomorrow you goes to the CDC, then I know maybe, but this source is very credible. Very credible. So what I see you're doing some publicity stunt. You cannot go into CDC. If he will go to any other party,
he pushing. He call it COP or whatever. He pushing COP body.
No, I didn't ask him for COP.
No, I know. I say, he said he doing publicity stunt. So I say it seems that he pushing.
Yeah. Because the person that told me, Mr. So, the person is very reliable. I mean, they do things in come out.
Don't act like the immigration. Don't ask Pajoy. Don't act like the immigration boss here to say that he trusts a suspect. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a quick commercial break and I will be right back. We need to have a quick commercial commitment. Okay, let me take a quick commercial break. For those of you that are having functions, conventions, if you want to have your convention, I contact the Cousin to Video Production for quality high digital images and video. Let me take a quick commercial break and I will be right back.
Have you heard the news? Well, worry no more. Cousins Photo and Video Production has been providing elegant weddings, conventions, and birthday videographic for the Liberian communities since 2006. Paying attention to detail and emotion throughout the day and taking time in the editing process to create a unique video you will want to watch with family members, friends, and future generations, shooting quietly and professionally and without distracting you or your guests is vital. For more information, please contact us at 484-786-3337. That's 484-786-3337, or we can also be reached at www.cousinphotovideoproduction.com. Please tell Cousin Photo and Video Production that Asheville the Giant Golly sent. Have you heard the news? Well, worry no more. Cousins Photo and Video Production has been providing elegant weddings, conventions, and birthday videographic for the Liberian communities since 2006, paying attention to detail and emotion throughout the day, and taking time in the editing process to create a unique video you will want to watch with family members, friends, and future generations, shooting quietly and professionally, and without distracting you.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Wood. They are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 6523 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. Musa's store is composed of varieties of African food as well as Americans, but predominantly African food. You have dry fish, you have cassava, you have yams, you have plantains, bananas, and Musa even goes out of his way to pay people extra to cut the potato grains for customers to save them extra time. We have deeper, we have fufu, we have the refrigeration center, then we also have cosmetics. This is a place to come in Philadelphia. If you come to Philly, you don't reach to Uncle Musa's Groceries, you have not made your trip complete. Welcome, and we look forward to seeing you sponsoring our business. Thank you.
This is Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. It's the only store, a grocery store, that deals with African stuff. Anything African things you can get in Uncle Musa's store. I am from Igbo in Nigeria. So, Ndi Igbo dum, onye obula wo onye Igbo. Ya bịa na Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. Oya bo ga-enweta anything we ihe Ndi Igbo na-eri.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The business
you can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then they're going to be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fiber you're looking for and match it for the men. And, you know, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and Ashobi hair ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fabric Queen on 6695 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome, 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 welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high-quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products solutions that will make you shine like the queens of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodlands Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrice Queens in Philadelphia is easy insult of the Liberia Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Akwaba.
Speak of partisan, it means that we are a partisan of the CDC. Maybe he will also be from a party.
Which party?
Maybe he will.
Which party? Which party belong to?
When you ask the question, you ask the question, you ask the question.
Okay, which party? Which party?
No, you take your own time. Don't be in rush.
Which party?
The information you want, you will get it. When you take your own time, you get it.
Which party are you now?
Look, I am from the party that I am from.
What party? Which party?
You know the party?
No.
Have I declared with any party since?
You are a member of the ANC.
Oh, you see, you're a smart journalist.
Do you have intention of going to the CDC?
I get intention to go anywhere. Do I need your permission to go
Specifically,
to anywhere? I could go to the Unity Party.
Specifically, do you intend to
I could go to the Unity Party. I could go to Prince Johnson, my in-law party, and go to anywhere. When you choose to go to the CDC, I choose to go to the CDC. That is why you. Bobachima could be my partisan.
Does that suggest
you have to be partisan before you place on committee here?
Yeah, obviously. You resign your committee.
For the very first time, this is the TSA for the very first time you will play.
Oh yes, the very first time for my communication to be accepted. Since I came to the capital building, the very first time for my communication to be there on the floor was this year. That's so. So if I'm placed on committee this year, what's wrong with it?
So what problem are you calling representing Larry Young for your former party?
I never said former party.
You said
I said chairman. You see, Gerald, let me tell you something. What you want to hear, you will hear it. When you watch, you will not hear what you want to hear. You gotta be very mindful and take your own.
Meaning that this is in the working. It's going to come about.
Anything is in the working. I could work on fabric. Also in the working for the work on fabric.
You regret leaving the COP.
Does it suggest that you want to support the CDC? You have to be critical on the We Are Government.
I can support anybody.
You call it for 24 years for the CDC government.
I don't need your endorsement to support who I want to support.
So what do you make of the president's State of the Nation address? You've not spoken to it since.
I'm going to speak with that.
So what do you think of it?
I'm doing some project in my district. We're trying to link 4 communities right now. As soon as I finish, when I'm dedicating my project, then what you want to hear, you will hear it.
Are you being pushed to join the CDC?
Maybe I'll be joining CDC.
Are you being pushed to join the CDC? Maybe the few times you've been talking about CDC so much.
You've been quiet on the presidency. Very quiet. That suggests
you want me to answer your question? You want me to answer it? So I will be very biased about answering. Go ahead with your question.
I'm saying the few times you've been very, composed on the issue of the CDC is that you opting for 24 years for the CDC. Have you been coerced to join the CDC?
Look, let me say what I want to say to you. I will talk when I'm supposed to talk. You will not push me to talk. You have not been putting finger in my throat to talk, so you will not do it. Okay. Let me say, anything is possible in politics.
On the dedication of your project, will you be inviting the president then?
Anything is possible in politics.
So that means President Weah will be on the dedication.
Anything is possible. I will be inviting you too. Not because you're being long, but I will be inviting you. But I said, wait and see if I will join the CDC. You will see on the delegation day. We'll have you committee ground the joint CDC.
You say you will be working the president that day. That's what you said. You say you'll be working the president.
It is bad to hold the president. The president must have show hand. That's all.
It's 9:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That was Honorable Yeke Kolobade today, right after a section that engaging members of the 4 estates as the People's TV interviewed today. So let me see here. I'm seeing Pa George. Okay, Pa George still here. Pa George.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is is it a crime to join CDC? It's not a crime. He correct on that, correct?
Oh, of course he's right. It's not a crime.
Mm-hmm. So,
but you know.
Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the journalists, the manner in which too they was just shoveling with the questions, pushing it, so it gives Yeke the edge is to something. But it seems to be that that walk is walking. So what is the big deal if he's cross carpet? He's not the first time. The Western guy, Finley, the Arkansas, and all of those folks, everybody wants to be on the winning team. But what matters here? Does it matter to go much deeper? The decision-making process, what actually prompted his change? Because he has called the president names a lot, and he has said a lot of things. He's on record where he said anybody can change, so he's no exception to that. But what would be is there any big political repercussions if you did that?
Well, of course, Mr. So. Even. Let me say this. Realistically speaking, for some physician to accept the Kolba would be difficult. Maybe the hierarchy, if even you make the
come on, Pa George.
But there are people.
It was the same way when what his niece said. What didn't happen between Costa and the president, and when he hosted that meeting, people talk, and it was in the interim in a few days. It became a jawbone exercise, and that was it until things went helter-skelter again. So
that's what happened.
Yeka say, "I'm a change man now." What does it matter?
But that is the risk. Because Mr. So in politics, you know the guy who got.
So then how can you even argue that? People say to George, he's not conciliatory, and so somebody who was cursing, who was abusing, who was calling names, and say, okay, I'm coming into your party, and then he's the president or the CDC embracing, accepting him now. So then what's the deal? That's not being conciliatory?
Well, Mr. So let me say this first. I don't want to do it on this with the CDC thing. Let me hear you can make the pronouncement, then I can come out. Yeah. I don't want to speculate. Let let's wait for his project and let he makes his pronouncement or whatever.
So I'm wondering who's gonna, because you're talking about dedicating a project. So I'm wondering who's gonna be the chief patron to dedicate that project. I believe.
Here's the thing, Mr. So the journalists in Liberia, some of them don't even ask.
The way they were behaving, it gives Yeka the edge that he couldn't even get to. Why? Because they were feeding him and at the same time answering him, asking those sort of direct questions instead of engaging him sternly on the friendly level, and then brings him to the point, the main point, and everybody were there because the people eager, they want to get the news quick. You can't get the news like that. That's not how you go about the process, getting the kind of information that you want to get. I'm sorry to say, but some of them was really acting like, I don't know.
I mean, they act like children. I mean, because when I saw the interview, I was laughing. I said, this reminds me of John Bear. You know, during those times, Minister of Youth and Sport when John Bear. Because he was one of those who could speak to the press at any time. So when they see him, they rush to him. What he said people laugh, they move on.
Ain't no kid. Call about loves the camera. He likes to be in the eyes of the camera.
And the law
so
you're not
join CDC. How can you ask that kind of question? So you're not joining?
Yes.
If you knows that he not join CDC, then why are you asking the question?
And at the same thing, you're putting back to them. He told them, if you know I join, why are you asking me?
I don't know. So sometimes it's
they
so
don't sit down. I tell you. So, but yeah, this whole thing here about Yeke Kolba, I'm just saying, I'm waiting 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now. Yeke Kolba made a pronouncement. That's what I'm waiting for. So I don't want to speculate.
Okay. So let me see what the Australian number here is. Hello, caller, are you there, Australia?
Yeah, I'm here, brother. So
okay.
Yeah, I want to make a contribution. You see, Yeke Kolba is a value of person, or let me put it this way. It's a key person in the whole COP. But people, maybe some people, they might say, I'm not saying the truth. But But Yeka Koluba, I've been watching other videos from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, their opposition, member of parliament, Kenya. They are very focused. The same way like Yeka Koluba. You see, Julian Malema, this is how he attacked Cyril Ramaphosa. You see, Nelson Chamisa of the opposition leader in Zimbabwe, he's a young guy like Yeka Koluba. This is how he responds to the president. He attacked the president on certain issues. The same thing in Kenya. But the point here is, I think he had not been given the support. I learned
so when you say he's not giving the support by whom?
By his colleague.
Or from the opposition?
This guy, it was like he going to court. And all the other people who have been campaigning for to promote their image in the Senate, I don't want to call names.
Why you don't like to call people? We don't have people names here. Why? What's the fear? We're not killing anybody. We're discussing. These are public figures.
The Bernard Ure, the Bernard Ure, the Oscar Cooper, the Sano Johnson, and other people. When he going to court, when they hear a lawyer, Francis Galawulu, it's not like that. They're supposed to gain our moral support, even if they are not giving him money. The moral support, it will give him motivation, encouragement. But when he go into court at the Supreme Court, I can always watch a interview.
Even when his driver, Yeke was better left in the lion's den. There's gone protest. And he was one of the present. But people on Flomota program, and one of the ladies, people just talk because for some reason they just want to talk. And they do not even look on the second side to have a second judgment or people decision making while they're then to make those sort of decisions. Call Flomo show the other day, Yeka won't go there, he won't go to. So do you think he doesn't have family? This guy has done a lot for the opposition. You know what it means to stand to go against a sitting president in third world country like Liberia and what he has gone through. And then when he has other people who were not giving, like you said, the kind of support, I don't know what specifically I haven't heard, but I know he has been talking behind the scene. I am hoping that one of these days he will grant us an interview to know the in-depth of it. But it seems to me, I'm not sure whether they are going or they are willing to have a result, because some of them are getting back at him and throwing some stuff with him. I don't think that's going to help them at all.
They're making mistake. Yeah, they're making mistake. At the time coming, I remember he went to Camp Vash in that place. See the amount of, when the people saw Yeka, even though they never won in, how they call this place, of Kidman. But see the kind of people that came out, they wanted to see who is Yeka. When Yeka went Kanta, Nimba, and you understand? Even a Kakata, and you understand? Even for Yeka to go in my own country, Bikana, the superintendent at there, he was fighting. And you understand? Yeka is a man that he can speak the truth. So people always want to hear it. And the government feel uncomfortable when Yaka is talking.
Exactly. He's part of the system. Right.
When push comes to shove, when the labor allegation against him, the people don't go to the court. They only leave alone in the ocean. And it's unacceptable to him. You see, as I said, when Julian Malema in South Africa, sometimes take your time, brothers. So go on Google, YouTube, you will see these videos.
I know.
The people speak in one accord. The opposition, they speak in one accord. And you understand? Okay. The economic freedom fighters, they speak in one accord. But and the other party there, the other party, they speak in one accord.
And that's the problem of the Liberia doesn't have an opposition. They do not have a coherent message. I don't even know how they came together to become opposition. They just agree on one or two instances on something, and they just jump inside. So as the result, whatever they agree on, when something on the contrary takes place, everybody decides to go their own way. That's what has been happening. So they don't have an opposition. I don't even trust them either. So they are not providing the sort of alternative they're supposed to be. We're talking about 2023. If you're accusing the CDC-led government or the George Weah-led government or XYZ, You as an opposition, you should start positioning yourself now to be the alternative. And part of that alternative is to provide solutions and tangible, and not just talk about the failures of the president. Somebody is failing as you claim it to be, and you trying to get my vote. I want to hear what you can do to better my life. You can't come and repeat what the person is saying. So it's like I'm already dying, and you're reminding me that I will be dying the next day. So what sense does that make for me to give my support to you? But unfortunately, that's the situation we find ourselves in. Okay.
They want to use Yeke as a springboard to accompany that in. I think, look, this election that coming, there is, how they call it, the senatorial election. My brother, if any of them hire Yeke to go come fight for them, that person will win. Because Yeke will speak simple English to the
okay,
people.
let me twist the keyboard around here too. And we are just based on speculations and suppositions, which of course they are all components of our livelihood in our daily lives here. So 717. So let's assume based on the unknown that we know, but let's just render judgment that Yeke is gone and will be going to CDC. Will that trust with the seditions? Will they trust Yeke Koluba? What will be his role when he joins CDC? Will they trust him? You think?
Photo. John, 3 other party. You understand? You are in NDP. He came to charter on the scenes when they pro tempore. What do you? And he used to say,
Mr. President, you have already won the election.
So the people want to challenge the opposition. Jogga will be happy.
The number is there. The number is pinned at the bottom there, Brian. It's 682-433-8802. The number is pinned at the bottom. You see the number there. The number is pinned at the bottom. It's already there. Okay, Pa George.
Yeah.
Yeah, the number there is 682. Let me just write it. So, do you think? Let's assume on supposition. Do you think what his name? Do you think the sedition will trust him? And what would be his role, assuming that he joins?
No, some will not trust Yeke Koluba, and Yeke Koluba will lose credibility with certain community. This is a risk you involve, because when you're as a politician, it's just like Liberia people. You don't Liberia. We don't check these people, but the stand that Yeke Koluba has taken against the government, to go there to join the government to work, Yeke Koluba will not even have a message.
So we shouldn't care. We shouldn't matter. We shouldn't have a second thought. The decision making of Yeke Koluba, we just only looking because Yeke has spoken aggressively or vocally against the government. So his going in the government now will make him meaningless. Will make him useless. Is that how we should?
But Mr. So I don't want to use the word meaningless. But what would be the point that he will ask you to convince me? Because he spoke against the ill that the government are doing, and he joined in. So what would be his position now? To tell me that the government is okay?
Well, maybe the government, maybe based on his discussion inside, that he yet to reveal that the government will change course or some of the things. But remember too, let's be fair here. Remember too, but Koluba has been saying that if the president or the administration changes course or change course in their way of doing things, I don't know what specifically he's be talking about. His tone will be moderate. So I don't know. So who knows whether the government does that?
What has changed? You just saw the court.
Well, I'm talking about what they're going to change that will satisfy your desire, not necessarily Mr. Napa George desire. Okay, hold on 1 second here. 410 number to 11243.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. So.
Yeah, how are you there? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Joseph Conto, and I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I just want to make a quick point here. It's a discussion about Representative Yeke Koluba.
Yeah, and we also had a call.
There's one thing that I have been listening to other callers who they have not said in this whole thing. First of all, if Yeke Koluba is going to the CDC, this is not anything new. Yeke Koluba told the Liberian people prior to the December protest He told the Liberian people that if they don't turn in the massive to protest against the government with everything that they know about the government, then he will join the CDC because it means that the Liberian people, they are satisfied with the governance of the CDC. Yeke Kolba said that.
Okay, so that's a good.
So I just,
I remember.
I just thought I should put that out there, so people who think who think that this is strange or what have you, he said it. So I think instead of people speculating, they should wait until Yeke Kolba say what he has to say, because Yeke Kolba does not back off from saying whatever is on his mind, be it in favor of the government or against the government. He speaks his mind, and that's why most Liberians, like him. Even I myself, because I'm a kind of person, I speak truth to power. And I will tell you, I served in the armed forces of the United States of America for 13.5 years. It came a point, there were some things that were going on. There were rules that was prohibited under the UCMJ. But these things were happening, and people who were in high authority, high-ranking officers were doing these things. And I stood up to them. In fact, they did to the point where they said they were going to court-martial me. And I told them that I would be better to be court-martialed than agreeing with what they have to say. So by then I was with I was with the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. The general, the division commander, which was Major General Campbell, even approved my court-martial. They selected the jury and everything. I stood up to them, and guess what? They dismissed all the charges they had against me because they knew I was right. They knew I was right. I left. I got reassigned to South Korea. I was there for 2 years. In fact, the sergeant major of the battalion that I was in, we have rules that soldiers should not play around those Filipino women that go in the bar and be dancing. But then the sergeant major, I caught him. I was on duty that night, patrolling the how you call it, the club area, and I caught him. He had one of these Filipino girls dancing on his lap, and his hand was in the woman's clothes. Guess what? I exposed him. So that's the kind of person I am. So if
they won't be that preacher, man. Don't preach what I.
That's true.
Yeah. So if you say this is prohibited, other people shouldn't do it, or people that you leading shouldn't do it, you yourself should not do it. So that's the kind of person I am, and that's why I admire how you call Yeke Kolba. He said the truth. Whether you're going to kill him or not, you rather well kill him, but he will tell you the truth. So thank you so much, Mr. So, for taking my call.
Okay. All right, folks, the number is there. Is if you're calling international is 011-682. Let me see what I can pin. The number is already pinned, so I don't know why they are not seeing it here. Yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead. Let me see who here.
To summarize, they will have people like Yeke Kolba, about 40 of them in Parliament, and Dara Dillon, brother. So Liberia will move forward. You see, but because our country, it has been a too long time since 1847 when they elect these representatives. Some people will come and talk good thing when they vote them there. They don't do the right thing. President George, we are supposed to embrace Dara Dillon because the guy said he want to fight corruption. He put a lie in Parliament. See the salary structure today. It's supposed to, he take his own money and send it back to his constituent. I hate him for that. I appreciate him for that. They can use our money for development. And you understand? But our people, they just want they want to be getting big salary, and policemen cannot get $200 a month. It's so bad for our country. So our salary can be increased. The nurses' salary cannot be increased. This thing is not occur well for the country. Other countries, in Ghana a few years back, their private were making 7 million Ghana city, and almost like a $600 at a time. Who knows by now that their salary going up, and while our people stay getting $110, $120, and you understand? That lady there, that Cochran lady, she need to be investigated. She let the Liberian people know which type of passport she came with. And you understand what I mean?
No, but we got to take step by step. That's not passport issue. That's not passport issue. That the issue now is not passport business.
Okay.
You don't think so?
Yeah,
because the thing,
I'm taking a bite because I saw the video out here. I saw that video. I watched the video in a constituent in Ghana, in a district where she went. She was sitting down. I saw the student with that brown trousers with yellow or shine uniform. The student, there were many surrounded her, and she's sitting down. And they introduced that lady that she a Ghanaian, was a pilot in the United States.
I don't know whether she ever did any active piloting or whether she ever piloted. That I can't confirm. I can't say.
20 years she been a pilot in the America. This is what the Ghanaian man who introducing. Yeah, he was saying. I
know she came from the States earlier before going. But yeah, is the thing here. Ellen Cochran, she's alluded that her father is a Ghanaian. And in her case, I showed there are other many cases that. But I think what it matters here is the morning allegedly reported 269,000. Whether she did it or not, we just want to know what the actual verdict is. We heard that government dropped charges, and only to know later on that government is unaware. I think all other S will follow suit, but I think that's the most cardinal thing. That's the case that we know about government. If there's anything, maybe it will comes out during the investigation, but that has not even happened anyway. So to say how she was in she went to Rawafie, people welcome her. So the issue of whether she traveled with passport,
I think is this Serena Cooper thinking that he want to honor the justice minister because Musa Dean was a lawyer for Cochran during the time she was in Liberia there, and then the same case here came up, and I was alleged that he dropped Vanishamo their case with
no, hold on. Let's get it right before I bring in the next caller here. The issue of the case being dropped is of reason. That was the December 11th edition. It was announced that the case dropped. And like I said, Serena Cephas called us here today. Hopefully he will be joining us here tomorrow. And today's edition, the front page, it is the same Serena Cephas is now in pursuit because he admitted here that he is in charge as a Solicitor General to pursue government assets recovery. So now the question becomes, is that part of Cochran's the alleged money that is out there? And they are saying they are not aware. So, I don't understand. But let me bring the other person here, another person calling from long distance here. 61. Are you there? I believe from Australia. There are two numbers here. So I don't know.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Folks, for those of you keeping company, then you got to let us go. Other people talking there, please. We are not interested in hearing whatever conversation. Yeah, go ahead. 6161 number from Australia.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm hearing you.
Are you hearing me very clear?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Nehemiah Kamanda. I live in Australia. I just want to give a little bit of contribution
to the
Yeke Koluba scenario. You getting me?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Yeke Koluba, to be honest with you, he's an unpredictable gentleman. If Yeke Koluba goes back to his CDC, it would be no strange thing to any of us. In the first place, Yeke Koluba said this government is a rogue government. The government can lie. The president is a criminal. The president is this. The president is that. If Yeke Koluba decides now to go and work with the criminal, with the rogue government, that is business. So let all Yeke Koluba this. When he's ready to talk to us, we will listen to him. But I 100% believe that Yeke Koluba will not go back to the government he has already downgraded to be a criminal government. So if he goes back to work with the criminal government, then he's also a criminal. Thank you.
So now, hello, are you there?
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, so let me ask you, does it matter too if Yeke now is switching or returning home like a prodigal son going back home? Does it matter for us to say why he decided to take this decision or not?
In the first place, why did he leave? To ask our question, why did he leave? He left because he felt that the government was not capable. He left because the government was not giving the right, attitude to the Liberian people. He left because he did not trust the government. Now, he decides to go back as a prodigal son, created as a business. Then we will tell him that Yega Koluba, everything you've been telling us, they are all lies. You are part of the criminal bank again. So you all go ahead and enjoy yourself. And
so when he crosses over, let me ask you. So when he crosses over,
will drop. His popularity will be diminished. That is true, because right now Yega Koluba is very popular in Liberia. When it comes to speaking out.
So when he crosses over to CDC, then his popularity will drop.
He's part of them.
Then his popularity will drop.
Yeah, it will drop. That's definitely.
So when he's out of
and the social network will go live on Yega Koluba for deceiving the Liberian people. Because the people trusted him, they gave him everything, they support.
When you say support, what kind of support? When you say support,
we give the support. Without the people, there will be no Yega Koluba popularity. That's a support you saw on June 6th, and not June 6th, January 6th. Yega Koluba,
but you also
huge number of people.
Yeah, so you also agree with me.
He's going to make those people to turn away from him because of his relationship now with the government.
No, listen, we can't make that. We can't make that kind of conclusion right now. It's too soon to do that.
Trust me, sir, it will happen.
Listen. Anything is possible in life. There's nothing stagnant. But what I also want you to understand, it is Yeke's persuasion that get these people. I'm interested. I'm trying to see how this is going to fall out. So then it just validates some of us argument. That something is not right within the very opposition column as well. Just how they claim and blame the government on millions of things, they are unable to organize themselves. How many of these people has left their group? We saw Oscar Cooper going, these other people going, these other people breaking away. So it means we need to also go deeper to know exactly what is unknown that we need to bring out. So we shouldn't wait because Yeke is going out. So then Yeke now becomes the Buku man. I wonder, are you concerned too if Yeke is leaving? Why is he leaving? Or because he's leaving now, so he shouldn't be part of any political party? Is that a case or what?
Yeke is a very vocal person. He speaks on without any compromise. He doesn't look in your face. He just talk. Yega Koluba has been part of the opposition a brand before, and he realizes that the opposition they are not doing the work they're supposed to be doing. He's supposed to speak out. He's supposed to speak out for the people to know that the opposition, they are contrary to what it stands for. But without speaking out, and we get here today, Yega Koluba left the opposition. Why were you think?
No, he didn't go here. He said he will talk. We don't even know. We are just creating supposition here. We don't know yet.
And I guess it's something. He's supposed to speak out. If there's anything going on in the opposition, Yega Koluba needs to speak out.
Yeah, but remember, one of the reasons he stated that there was like a corporation, there was a statement that even though he did not go into details, but people that are close to him, they were saying that there are lack of cooperation, which of course he has been complaining, but it has not been as public as it should be once he's in trouble. But hold on 1 second. Let me see your number here at the person, is that a 423 number? Is that a 423? Are you there? Oh, okay. Okay, Brian. Yeah. All right, good. You say you wanted to make a contribution. Good evening and welcome. But what are we missing here?
Thank you, my brother, friend. You know, I've been monitoring your show, and it's all about Yega Koluba and
Please be audible a little bit. Audible.
Yeah, just pump up the volume a bit.
Okay, yeah. So the issue that I have to do with Yega Koluba, you know, I don't want to dive too much into it. I just want to give some synopsis, and then let the people be the judge. You know,
okay.
In as much in as much I'm one of the founding members of the Mighty Congress, and for democratic change, and I don't have any power to say, when I accept, Yeke Koluba when he's happy to make a decision to say he wants to join the TDC. And you understand? Because the party, we get people who've been falling and they will wake up and walk. So when Yeke to fall and wake up and walk, we will accept that. But one good thing I want to tell the people is that even today when Yeke comes to the CDC, there will always be an opposition.
Right.
And the opposition, they will always be there. For me, I'm not so particular on who coming and who's not coming. I love the opposition community because once we have opposition and we are in, like for us that in power, we go in power, and then they will hold us to the fire so that we can do the best and do what we say we want to do. But when all of them will cross carpet over to us, well, then it's a smooth ride for us. Then even when we are sleeping, who will be there to sleep there? Who will be there to talk? So the issue of Yeke back coming there is not anything important and not anything big. But one good thing I want to promise. Yes, now one good thing I want to promise, brother. Yeke come back from the CDC. Yeke come back from the CDC. I can show the proof, get it on record. I can show anybody. If you don't believe it, take my word to the bank. They will all lost the election are coming 2023. Yeke, direct, all they will lose it. We are prepared. Thank you.
You are prepared. So let me like you said. Yeah, hold on.
It's not true.
Yeah, hold on. That a man session.
My brother.
Hold on.
I'm entitled to my opinion.
Hello.
Yeah, you entitled to your opinion, but I 100% believe that Dillon comes 2023 will win the election. Let me Dillon out. We are not discussing Dillon now. We are discussing.
No, but listen now, gentlemen.
You hijacked me. You hijacked the floor.
Yeah. Hello. You spoke. Listen.
Why are you in opposition? You can't be patient with speaking. Be patient. You're talking here. I give you the chance. I'm talking to you. Hijacking me.
Exactly.
I'm not hijacking you.
Yeah, hold on now. We said the mic is also open. Even though those are the two. Yeah, hold on, my dear brother. We say it's an open mic, but there were two things that we were, focusing on, and he has a right to say what he wants to say. Does that make it true that people is on here? Absolutely not. So usually here we like to have that sort of civility here and say, okay, well, but even though you say, but this is my own disagreement, as things say, so pressing. So okay, Brian, then let me just ask you, say they're gonna. So who tell us here? We are hearing a lot of names filtering in. But who CDC going to be fitting in for, especially for Morado County against Darius Dillon?
Listen now, brother. As of now, as it is, we can't reveal any information now after our meeting.
I'm hearing Louis Brown.
We have to meet very soon. We have to meet very soon.
They don't get no match.
So I am a close source. A close source. Now,
having a retreat. Yeah, listen, brother. Let's go one at a time. We have a retreat. Okay. I don't want to take the air from the North Shore now. So just hold on to your comment and let's have a retreat. After the retreat, you guys will see the new face of Liberia. We're going to give you guys the new face of Liberia.
Okay, sir. You understand?
So I could make an educated guess here. Two names that I'm hearing floating here. Louis Brown, CDC are trying to recruit to get Louis Brown on board. I also hearing this lady who returned and been very vocal and speaking that when the mouse is not around, the cat is not around, the mouse are running all over the place here. So Youngblood is, as a Monant panel, is she going to step in because Politat was just not a perfect match. I think that was a wrong choice on the part of CDC. Is Monant Blanc, is she on a consideration, you think?
Well, we still hold our heart to our chest till after our convention, after our retreat. Okay. After the retreat, I promise you guys we'll get LIBERIA new face. We'll get LIBERIA new face after the retreat.
Is that a male or female?
We are definitely going to get LIBERIA new face after our retreat.
You guys, can I come in briefly?
Okay. We will wait and see. We'll see. Eventually.
You don't bring Moroba Molu because Yeka Koluba beating in his own district. Oh my God.
Okay, let me take leave of you guys.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so I'm waiting to see.
I just want to tell you that Yeka Koluba is unpredictable and anything can happen, but I don't trust him. Honestly speaking,
you trust him in the past, or is it now? You trusted him in the past. You trusted him in the past.
No, even in the past, you know. That man, you can't really trust him. The man is an old soldier. You can't trust him. In the first place, what getting me convinced that Yeka Koluba is going to CDC is for the past few weeks, he has not been vocal on the presidency.
So why you want him to say? Is he the only person to be speak? It in the man here can hey?
He's the only one that is up front. He always up front.
You know how many pain tablets Yeka? But no, let's be honest here. Like Yeka, he's a strong man. This guy he's not even well, and he's really bent to doing. So not because he's not speaking. I mean, everybody can reach their Waterloo at a certain period of time. But I to admit too, we need to know. It's not nothing in my interest whether he goes or not. First of all, I mean, his way of talking, he is who he is. I just do not appreciate sometimes the way he get some good points, but the presentation, the processing of his information,
the way he presents
that's what I have problem with. And it just when you do it at the end of the day, the people say, okay, you're leaving, you will get tired. So apparently, you're leaving, like he have his own way now. That tired, he exhausted now, and he try to come, But I think we need to know much deeper too. We need to know much deeper the decisions of Yeke and why all of these people who said they were going to change things around or their opposition, why is this group is falling apart, and they don't want to admit that they are falling apart. When one person leave today, they say Nouvelle, say, oh, that man, I was so man. That's how some of the opposition are saying now. Yeke, he has not even gone down. They began to castigate him. They began to tell him he's not this, he's not that. I don't think that is fair. Yesterday he was okay. Now he's trying to take a change. Now he's not okay.
Yeah, if Yeka go as for me, I will just sit on the fence and monitor the activity because Yeka is a strong voice now. Council, because
you will go with you will go with him or what? What are you talking about? You will go with him?
I will sit on the fence. I will sit on the fence.
Which are the fence? What kind of fence?
I would not want to call any radio station again, neither in Liberia, okay, I always call in a defense and call you guys in the United States there. I will just sit on the fence because you guys.
Okay, put let's do this. Put a collateral down here. If you sure you will never call again if you can leave. Let's put a collateral down. Let's see.
Yeah, to see because this guy been in court in and off at the Temple of Justice and no opposition to go rally around.
Okay, so then why can't we even ask? So then why can't we even ask the human question here too? Why Yeke is making this decision at this time, even though he has not made that decision? But I hear what I heard Yeke saying today.
Yeah, but
I know that's not a Yeke, and he says anybody can change. So perhaps he has changed.
So let me just something here. Yeke belongs to a political party. Yeke belongs to a political party. And I believe Yeke party, they have had some conversation with him. This is why you see the decision coming. Yeke belongs to a political party.
Right.
And I'm just speculating. And I show his political party, I talk to him and say, look,
don't do this.
Is the way we want to go. We don't want to go this way. So either you come back to us and suspend your membership and let us try to build our institution. I strongly believe it will predicated upon someone who advises that Yeke Koluba, you see him like this now. But I'm telling you, Yeke Koba will not join CDC. Let me be very with you. Yeke Koba will not join CDC. I can tell you.
That is the truth. That is the truth. He will not.
I'm telling you.
He just play on the mouth of people.
He would not join CDC. Yeke Koba, he had some conversation with his political institution. And when he made that pronouncement, I saw even people attacking another political party that they were the one that masterminded Yeke Koba.
That's how very disorganized the very opposition column. They are so disorganized. The people that are even talking to them, they do not have the message to articulate to even convince people to come. You there looking for people that go online, they insult as well. Then I don't understand.
They forget to know all the guys who are made of the COP. They are from political institutions, and they have not said that they live in a political institution. So if one person say, look, I'm suspending my membership, do not go after the person's political institution or those people to attack them. Because you're not sending the right message. Because when Yeke Koba made that pronouncement, people went
they started going after him.
Yeah, and some political institution. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So this whole thing, I can tell you, Yeke Koba will not join CDC. Let me tell you this tonight, and your market. Yeke Koba will not join CDC. Your market, he will not join CDC. So I believe Yeke Koba's decision is coming from his political institution that say, hey, look, my man, you are part of us. This is not the role we want you to be playing right now.
Okay, somebody.
This way.
Eleanor, somebody is saying here, say, well, Yeke is pretending to CDC, and he think he going to fool them big time. So he think he want fool CDC? Yeah, I think CDC what got around that. You think people will fool them? You think people will feed them?
Even with the Liberian politics, we know. I want to use the other word. How Liberian politicians look like. They're here tonight, tomorrow on the other side. But there is a price.
All of these people seeking greenest pasture, man. They're looking for where they lie. Nobody want.
Yes.
Opposition don't even. The only opposition in Africa, in the world, that don't even want to go to jail. They want to have a smooth way is the Liberian opposition group. They don't want to go to jail. They think they just want to sit and walk on ice freely and say, no. It's not possible.
No. And here's the thing here.
There's no freedom without pain. So if you think you want to be so aggressive, be prepared to go to jail. Be prepared to face the consequences. Yeah. But they don't want to do it. They left Yeke in the lion's den. Yeke was the only person that stood the test of time on January 6th. Are you serious? He been risking his life. So why people try to trash him now if all he wants to make a turn? Who don't know about good life?
These are decisions. I'm trying to tell you that I show people within Yeke party told me, say, you see what happened? You are the first one. You see what you are left. Yeah. So if you continue this path, this is how you end up. But if you are with us in our institution,
calling the people back January says nobody around to answer the main phone call. Everybody gone. Okay, I was gonna be wrapping all here. Let me bring in the 31314 number there 0461. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, Mr. So this is Zaza.
Hey, Zaza, what's up, my man?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to address a question that many people have been asking.
Mm-hmm.
Several times people come and say, how did we arrive here? Why are we so divided? Why is the country this and the country that? But I think the answer is just very simple. The answer is because many Liberians refused to honor Liberia. They pay more attention to individuals more than Liberia herself. People in the opposition will do something that will be harmful to the country. They will celebrate them because they are oppositions and they are oppositions. People in the government will do something that will be harmful to Liberia, and people will celebrate them because they are government officials or because they are part of the ruling party. I think we should come to a point where we will know what is good for Liberia and what is bad for Liberia, and not what is good for a party or what is good for a particular group of people. You know, it's very disappointing. People who were out there yesterday celebrating certain things with Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, they turn up the headquarters of advocates today. People who were in CDC yesterday and were standing against certain things, today they are celebrating the very thing that they were against yesterday. So until we come to a point where we know what is good for Liberia and what is bad for Liberia, Liberia will continue to go down this route.
Right.
It will continue to go down this route. One thing I want to say before I leave the line or before I sit on to listen is that in America here, when they say advocate, for those that do law, they refer to lawyers as advocates. I want somebody to tell me how many times a lawyer went to a court and he saw the judge and say, "You judge, you this, you that, you there," and they say they want the judge to give them good judgment. Nobody, no lawyer, no judge, no advocate can do that. No advocate will go to a judge and insult the judge because they feel the judge is wicked or the judge can't listen, the judge can't abide by law. The judge is definitely going to rule against you for being rude. But in Liberia, we insult our government officials, we insult our presidents, and we call ourselves advocates. How do you expect to be considered seriously?
Advocate don't even take side. They are neutral. They don't. They are not subjective.
They speak to the issues.
They are objective. That's
they speak to the issues. They don't go and insult presidents, insult people, and people celebrate them. Can you imagine? We're in this America.
So can I come in?
Yeah, hold on. Once somebody is talking, hold on. We can't talk like that, oh man. Let a guy finish. Then we can. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
The mail always debunk me because that's why Plabro is where it is. People speak to individuals. They want to defend individuals. They don't want to defend the issues. In America, everyone went to jail several times. People being deported because they spoke evil about the Oval Office. Because they spoke evil about other people. You don't sit on the air and insult Darrell Dillon because he's an opposition, or you insult the vice president because she's not in favor of you, or you insult the president or because he's not in your party, and you expect Liberia to be better. Nobody should insult anybody in the field they want to make Liberia better. I see people insulting Darrell Dillon on Facebook. I see people insult Yeke Koluba. I see people insult Koji, insult the president. And these are very people who say they want to make Liberia better. How can you make a Liberia better when you insult your leaders? You insult people, even if they are not your leaders. You don't promote insanity.
It makes it very difficult for some of these people to really get the in-depth, their inner part, because of the behavior of other people. So sometimes when people call them, they just think everybody's going to do that. So you can't. It's terrible.
And that's one of the reasons the government is not taking suggestions from opposition anymore, because opposition they will go on the rampage and insult, and they expect the government to listen to them. If we want to be relevant in the community, let's speak to the issues. For me, that's my point.
Okay, all right. So the coming my time set cut off here. Go ahead quickly. Hold on.
Want to say something, so I want to listen to me.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, let me wait. Somebody else here. Let me see. No, there are other people. Somebody just came into. They have not. Let's do a fair share now, so they can't tell us. So I see a number here. 314 number 0461. Are you there?
I'm the one speaking to you. That's Zaza.
Oh, Zaza. And who has a 423 number? Oh, okay. So pretty well. So everybody have spoken. Okay, good. I want to make sure everybody get a fair share. So I'm going to start from 6-1, and let's just do it 1 minute each to keep it to the point to make our closing argument. Yeke Cochran by Joy Weir, Benena Urate, Ellis Coleman, whatever it is. So Australia, let me go to you. What's your final point? What you wanted to speak to?
Yeah, my final point to the brother down there. What got our country like that, I differ with him because, you see, when CDC were in opposition, they promised the Liberian people that they will establish economy and war crime code. When the appropriate time came, when they gave them the job, they declined to do that. That I said, man, when you tell your wife, say, Lord, I'm going on the hot soup, I'll bring 1 cup of red for you to eat. You must make sure if you don't get that red, better you stay there. When you get the red,
Oh, you must suppose you get it for 1 month, so you just stay out because.
Mr. So. Mr.
Are you kidding me? So you go hustle when you not get it, you should just stay there until you can. What?
Mr. So, I want to ask you a question.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Suppose resting the time where there were no gas for 2-3 days, so that means you're not even coming home, but you eating somewhere else.
Yeah. And okay,
Mr. So, let me just ask the name. Please.
No, let the guy finish. Let you finish wait a minute. Then when you try, then you tell your own. I beg you.
You know what got the country like that, brother? So let me take my time. You know, you have been running. It's because we don't love each other. We the citizens. But I can assure you, I was living in Ghana. The people get law there for the citizens. And you understand? The law there is when you carry Ghanaian insult you as a foreigner, you carry them to the police station. They will just say, oh, we're putting that person. So now you turn your back, that person gone. You sick, you go to the hospital, they got a rating on the board, non-Ghanaian fee, you will pay. And you want a police car, you know how much I pay to come to Australia? It's $200 US. Okay. You see the fishery director, right? She did something in Georgia government. I commend her. But the point where the mistake that you fall with her is the increasement of the before you pay money to register your kingdom, the foreigner fee is supposed to be higher. Then the Liberian people are supposed to pay something like $5 and put that kingdom. That's what they do in Ghana. Then the economy will boom. But if you charge foreigner high fee, you a Liberian. If you do that, Liberian foreigner pay the same amount of money to the hospital. If we do that thing, the country will never go forward. We need to love our brothers and sisters in our country.
I think there are different instances, because you talk about hospital. They ain't get foreigner medicine. They ain't get citizen medicine. The same medicine that's supposed to kill you, it can kill you. So if you say, okay, you're going, I said there must be different instances that I agree with in terms of to allow small businesses. But to say you go to the hospital, citizens should pay less and foreigners should pay more.
Go to Kolebu Hospital in Ghana. I lived Ghana 10 years. Before coming to Australia, go to Kolebu Hospital.
I know that. That's Ghana I pick up from before coming from the States. I know that.
Go to the immigration there to get a police clearance. Ghanaian will pay $5 Ghana cedi, and the foreigner pay $200 US. If you don't have the equivalent, you will never get your police clearance.
Okay.
This is what the police supposed to do. I told Gregory, but he never replied me. The police in Liberia supposed to, foreigner getting police clearance there, it should be $200, then Liberian pay $5. And that money that will be collected should be used for good purpose.
$200 and they must pay $5. Is that right? Okay, let's leave it there.
Pay $200. This is what Ghanaian do. This is what Ghanaian do.
Oh, okay. All right.
All the Nigerian, Malian, this is what Liberian, this is what we pay.
Okay, Omen, thank you. I gotta go. Let me go to the next person. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. All right. Brown, what's your closing remark? The message in my paper. So the person now, when we not get real, we won't get anything, we must stay there until when we get it. Deborah, you're hearing it right? So when they not come, that means they ain't get no food. Go ahead, my man. OD.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have said it. You know, I just want to advise those who try to put a hair on chopping board that the new 21st century is not a century that you even trust your own pocket. In as much as you don't trust your pocket, don't put your hair on chopping board for Othello Brown, because life is dynamic.
I know.
In that study, they can turn around anytime, you can twist and twist. So those who put their hair on chopping board say, no, you can't do this, no, you can do this. The man who say a thing, he said, wise man changes. So say indeed you want to be a wise man, we ourselves will accept that. Look, brother, let me tell you tonight, we as a citizen, we welcome and we still welcome our practical partisans.
There you go.
I repeat, our practical partisans. We still welcoming them. We were in CDC, they all signed the agreement. They left CDC. They came back, we brought them back. Original good them, they left CDC. Original good them on our article and corporation. They did, I need that, they left, they formed ANC. But 24/7 in job, we have to play Lulu, they eating, doing everything. They whining and dining. We understand that we know all our one another. So no politician in Akula say this or that. All the people in Akula are so people, everybody hustling, so hustler. So you leave, you get Koluba, so you get Koluba can die from the sickness that suffering him. Because tomorrow that man dies, not all that man, he's a bit talking loose, he's a bit talking loose, how y'all growing. And you get very amazing. He has life to live. You want to enjoy yourself too. So you're leaving alone. You let man do the right thing for himself. Thank you.
I know. Yeah, no, man, one get no overnight Ray and I call Sherry coming to inspire her. You want to put all of that to a start. Okay. Thank you so much, my man, Brown. Okay. So, Pa Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that a worth the point there? The man, everybody wants life.
Mr. So, I always say these things. I have my life to live. I have my character to defend. I have my reputation to defend. So I think differently and I do think differently. So be it anybody. But the issue, we have said a whole lot. But I just want people to reflect. Today we frown on people insulting leaders, opposition insulting government officials. Where this politics came from? When did this started? Because I know
it's gonna get worse, for sure.
Oh yeah, I know. Those time we were demonstrating. We demonstrated so many times against those. Nobody cursed the president murder. Nobody insulted his wife. But since this, after the war, the new birth of this political institution in Liberia, that had been the hallmark of insult. And today, when I see sedition crying, I just laugh. These were the people who were in the street cussing, man cuss, and today they're still doing it.
Everybody, is it fair to say everybody doing it?
But the one I come to, I say everybody. But so sedition should not. I hate to hear sedition talking about people insulting people. I don't even want to hear from them. I don't want to hear Mr. So. These guys took women clothes in the street of Monrovia. When they were doing it, didn't you people know that was wrong? That's why I said I don't justify anybody for using profanity. I don't justify it. But equally so, they should not complain. Because they were the one who was singing the same song. Now today, the shoe is on the earth, they are not complaining. When you people were wearing that shoe, you didn't know that it was bad, it was burning. The whole thing is, these guys, since after the war, the 12 years, this is the politics that CDC and the other opposition party in Liberia, they have introduced to the Liberian people. That cussing is now the order of the day in Liberia. And I don't know when we're going to arrest that kind of solution in Liberia. Because it's like they're passing it from one generation to another. Because it's like, that's how everybody now can get a point across. When they don't insult, that means they have not said anything. And I just want to close on this note.
All right.
It is bad. It is bad for a civilized society.
I hope even the opposition communities and those in the advocacy community, they don't have to fine-tune their language. And believe me or not, even after the George Weah presidency, who knows, another social media that are going to surface, it's going to get nastier than even why it is right now. If we don't do anything to put it to a start. Okay, Zaza. Zaza, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, quick.
So I can't cause it.
Okay, quickly.
Thank you so much.
I
think I said it. I don't want to repeat myself, but the point here, somebody said because the men want to establish economic ground code about the country have. That's a good point you got to say, but do you have to say it through insult? No, that's my point. We got many things that are going on in the country that are wrong. We can say it without insult. We can say it without being harsh. For me, that's my point. I'm not saying things in Liberia are right, but the reason things are going the way they are going, because nobody wants to give the information to the president. Nobody wants to speak out. They instead want to insult. Insulting is not speaking out. You stay in front of camera and use the F word, and nobody challenge you for that. People in the opposition will look at Yeka Kuluba use the F word on the camera. I see the last time people on Freedom FM insulting the vice president. That's not the way to get your information out. That's my point. Things will always be run in the country. The best way the things will get to they will get to be better is for us to say it without insult. Thank you.
All right, well. Okay, well, folks, to all my callers, participants, and those online tweeting, I want to thank you so much, Dr. Sitton. We say welcome, Mama G. Deborah, the post said now when we get it, we'll go home, we'll go farm, go hustle. When we get it, we shouldn't come home. I don't know that other one there. I'm not gonna that other law there. I can't buy it. So when you go hustle, you get it. You come home, you and your family, your bed. You don't go eat secret food outside. Then you can't wipe your mouth. Then you eat. Then you say, "Damn, well, I see why there's a problem in our country because there are some bad advisors then who said they're not even in position because some of them they get there it will be terrible than what we in. My goodness. Go find it. If you don't get it, then you stay there until you get it. So if you can't get it for the next 1 week, you just stay out. Are you kidding me? All right, well, folks, Pa George, Zazad, I want to thank all of you and all of our onliners. We'll continue to have these sort of civil discussions. I think it's good, it's healthy for our country, and that's what we want to do. We are closely monitoring. And what I really have interest, both the oppositions and even the government, we want to see the next group that are going to be that will be going into in the Senate. That is very crucial. And I'm not seeing these discussions taking place. We're hearing a lot of names. I'm hearing maybe Basanga Finlay, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, will be going back to his motherland to contest. We don't know yet. We will get that confirmation when it comes. And so many people, Louis Brown is on the other hand. So many names. Even in my own county, a certain representative, Zoe Peno, 18 years he has been as a representative. I want to see how some of these people are going to be going back or how they're going to be given the promotion. What is the piece of legislation that they have produced that have been benefit? Or is it because people more or less, electors are interested in getting their own personal assistance from these individuals? And that's one of the reasons, because when these people take their physical, if I want to then say, if it causes him to use his 5 years check to get that position, you would do it. Can you imagine somebody saying that? I will use my 5 years check to get that job. And who knows, eventually they will get it because of the poverty and situations in the country. So I think it is now time the opposition, because I'm calling their name because it's to their disadvantage. They want something to start waging an effective campaign message to educate, and that is what is lacking, even from the election commission, to educate the voters. Some of them waiting. They from Grand Gita, they will sit down in Morovia, but then when election time comes, they think they're just going to go to Grand Gita to go vote. It doesn't work like that. So it is time to educate the electorate. Being a Liberian does not mean you can just vote if you don't even register, and that's how some of them behave. As by right, it's nothing like a by right. You, as a Liberian, you have to register before you can vote. You have to. Being a Liberian does not mean you can just automatically go to polling center and start voting. So the opposition, they need to start putting in their thinking cap. The government needs to provide the resources to the election commission. Now this tendency of saying that no money, quote unquote, and so there will be no election, just sit down and go to bed. Just sit down there and say no election. That's a sovereign nation. I don't care how tough it is. Government will be forced to find the resources. Friendly government and other donors will come in. The election has to go on. So if you sit down and say because there are no election, we're not sure, so don't do your due diligence. Sit down in Morovia. You want to be representative or senator in Sando County and sit down in Morovia and think say people are going to do. But I'm quite interested. We need to start knowing all of these people because we need to vet them properly. It doesn't matter whether they are for NIMAF or whatever, because the blame game on the executive branch of government, it is time to hold the legislative branch of government responsible, because this is where all of these free passes and things coming from. They also have to be people of credibility, men and women. I saw their session today. You saw their session today, the way they were behaving like children. Nobody understands what they were saying. Everybody yelling and screaming. I know sometimes it can be tension packed, but hey, for God's sake, It was honest, urgent and serious deliberation. People need to understand what they are saying. Well, folks, I want to thank you so much for being part of this program. Hopefully tomorrow we're going to be having Councillor Serena Seafor, who is now saying government is not, or government is unaware of charges being dropped against Helen Cockrum. Now the criminal court seat in Morovia of George Nancy Sami is saying that. So how come was that hearing in assumptions or government defense was represented? How did we get to this point? And hopefully Serena Seaforth will provide those answers. We are also trying to hear from Helen Cochran herself, or her side of the story. We are doing everything possible to get into contact with her. As soon as we get that, we'll also bring her here. And we're waiting and see what the press conference of Yeke Kolubat, one of the controversial lawmakers, going to be in the next coming days or week. Thank you so much for being part of this program. Until then, I join the Liberal Progressive tomorrow, Samson Blokuto, with his regular editions of Conversation with Samson To. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Dieu a entendu ta prière et il t'a exaucé. Bienvenue, monsieur le maire. Samy Dola, mon arrangeur au cœur blanc. Maman Mariette, présidente du fan club BPS. Babo Siei Oswald, Tossi. Ah, oh, pamé, oh. Baby, c'est vrai, oh, pamé, deme, oh. Fati, way, oh, baby, pamé, oh. Yesi a o pasi ome o, we o lore ase o, capitaine Bibio Vale ase o, commissaire Kimu ase o, président Robinson ase o, président Basio ase o, président Ide Michel ase o, maman Bae Dorothée ase o, Badie Madame le maire se mwa nyoko, Bado wa Podu Kidia e mwa nyoko. Avant son arrivée, il a été annoncé. Celui qui doit sauver Djiblo est de retour. Le peuple enjaillé, tout Djiblo est debout. Comme Jésus arrive à BPS, armée de paix et de développement. Il dit entre ta vérité et ma vérité, oh, y a celle du peuple, oh. C'est la du Djiblo d'abord. La pierre rejetée est devenue la principale, oh. La n'est pas d'aimer, oh. Djiblo, quand il plaît, tout le monde nous est exilé. Les doigts ici à prendre de vie en tranquillité. Ah non, le maître de Vietnam, Djiblo d'abord. Nous semons une réconciliation, dites-moi, pour tout le monde à faire se réunir, nous. Après nous un péché, pourquoi moi les uns qui croient que les autres couillent? Ah non, le maître de bien la cohésion sociale. Emeni tout asso, tout anesso, comment tout osso. Y'a esse quoi moins qui beau.